Oh my God, it's us. We're here. We're live on the internet. The music is very loud. I've turned it down. Probably you can hear us talking now. We're live on the internet. Welcome back, my friends. We're just recapping all kinds of stuff for Kevin in terms of what happened last week, but we're also talking about what everybody ate. I got a very American tonight and proceeded to get a bunch of boar's head football franks. That would be hard. That would be very awkward.
Difficult to eat, yeah.
Yeah, you'd need like a big butcher knife, maybe. Anyway, I like, listen, we all know hot dogs. I get it, but sometimes they're really good. It's one of these like gross foods that I have real craving for.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, there's hot dog places that specifically sell hot dogs. LA has a few of them. New York definitely has a few.
Oh, yeah.
I got really into them every now and then, right? Like you just want to go in and be like, I'm gonna try some of your weird ass hot dogs. It'd be one of those that's like wrapped in bacon and smothered in like nacho cheese, topped with whatever. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I'll eat it.
Hell yeah.
Taylor, thank you for that subscription. That is many months in a row. Old school. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, they're so good. There was a hot dog place in Mamaroneck, I think, technically, in like Westchester in New York, down outside of the city, called Walter's. And their whole deal is they had the big flat iron grill and they sliced the hot dogs like right down the middle and like cook them flat. And they were the best hot dogs ever, man, when I was a kid. And so now I compulsively cut all my hot dogs basically in half when I eat them, which is a little bit weird, but they hold the onions really nicely.
I don't know if you've ever had it. I feel like Troy, you're in Kentucky, you might know this, but there's a thing called coney dogs, which are hot dogs basically with like sweet chili it's not like a sloppy Joe. It's not like a chili like traditional, but it's like a sweeter chili ground meat. And my wife, who's from Indiana, loved them. I've never had them. She made them once from scratch, and I enjoyed it. And then when I went to her hometown, there's a place that just like sells it. It's like one of their things, and it's fantastic.
Well, what are these called again?
Conies.
Conies.
Another word for rabbits.
Ever heard of a coney? Are you kidding me? I have eaten like 4 of them in one sitting without even thinking as an appetizer. A chili dog with cheese. Now I hold the mustard, no onions, not about that life. But
Wow.
it is a classic of Skyline Chili, a Cincinnati joint that is known for, among other things, serving chili upon spaghetti noodles. And ultimately, it's really just a delivery system for a mound of cheese. I'll try and pull up a photo in a moment here. But the cheese coney. Mwah. Mwah.
The cheese coney. So no mustard on anything, Troy, or just hot dogs? You're a hot dog purist, or you just not like mustard?
We're going to
I'm
go there?
curious about mustard. Yeah, it's a controversial condiment.
How long have we been friends, Rich, at this point?
At least 20 months, let's say.
Yeah, let's say that. Like, I don't know that we're quite at the 2-year mark, but we've spent like a good amount of time together. We've chatted back and forth quite a bit. There are things you still don't know about me.
No, you're a mystery.
One of them is I am pretty ardently anti-condiment. I
stop.
despise mustard. I revile ketchup. I do not put like mayo on any burger or sandwich in my life. And like anything pickle or relish related, GTFO.
Wow, this is wild.
No. Okay, so you and our well, around here, P into chat, share that then. Or no condiments people. This I don't understand the no condiments. It's so crazy.
I feel like I feel like in the Discord, which you can join if you join PSR at
Patreon.com.
But we had a discussion, and I remember like just like problems because I don't put ketchup on my French fries. I generally speak like people. Well, first of all, whoever puts just directly on the fries, psychotic. Like you gotta in control.
That's chaotic evil.
Yeah, absolutely.
And secondly, I'm not a huge fan of ketchup and fries. Like I much prefer other dipping sauces given the option. Or if the fry is good enough, just a French fry should be enough. The fry should be the star of the fries.
Speak your truth, Kevin. I'm with you here. I am very particular about condiments. The correct condiment with the correct food product, I'm like full thumbs up on. But if you come to my home, if you come anywhere in my vicinity, and I make for you for breakfast eggs or something, and you ask me for the ketchup, I'll smack you in the mouth. None of this bullshit. Get out of here with this.
Yeah.
Putting ketchup on my scrambled eggs. I make the scrambled eggs good enough. You don't need to put anything on them. And if you're putting that just like basic Heinz ketchup or something even worse, some generic kind of ketchup, get out of here. You couldn't conceivably insult me more grievously.
I mean, I will make a note and never do that at your house, Rich, but I absolutely eat my eggs with ketchup.
Not the right way to eat eggs too.
but only very rarely. Normally it's hot sauce. If I don't have hot sauce, I will do ketchup.
But like bougie condiments, even try like some kind of a chipotle sauce or like
aioli.
A little bit of exactly a garlic aioli or a side maybe of like the in-house barbecue sauce at like a rib joint or something like that. Are those acceptable?
I found 2 common threads around why I tend not to like most sauces. And I think that's really going to like inform 90% of the subsequent follow-up questions. Number 1 is if you have to douse a food in a sauce for it to be good or palatable, I don't want to eat it.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't want to eat it.
Very fair.
I don't care how much crap you put on it. If it's a bad piece of meat, it's a bad piece of meat. That's number 1. And I feel particularly that way about barbecue and the way that people like.
You're a dry rub barbecue guy.
Very much. I'm a dry rub barbecue. Yeah, definitely about barbecue. And no sauces there. The other thing, though, and this took me way too long to figure out, vinegar. Really despise anything that's a vinegar flavor or with a vinegar taste. And I'm convinced that much like cilantro creates like a soapy like taste for certain people genetically, I think the Pias and the Troys of the world, we experience vinegar very differently from everyone else. Because I know other people who are like this.
I think you're true. I mean,
of us.
Vinegar is like the hard base of like your mustards and your ketchups, especially.
It's the
right?
common
There's
thread, right?
Yeah.
It's why I don't like any barbecue sauces, because they're all either mustard based or vinegar based. It's why I don't like ketchup. It's why I don't like pickles. It's why I don't like, obviously, even just the smell of vinegar.
Ooh, first time chatter.
Fall under that, don't they? Like, well, I guess it depends on the hot sauce, but a lot of hot sauces, vinegar is a key thing.
Many do. I've been upset. It's interesting, the hot sauce commentary, because I've been obsessively rewatching Hot Ones, because like the Matt Damon clip was going around last week, and I was like, Matt Damon is so great, man. What an insightful point he's making about the evolution of the film industry in the midst of this hellish experience on Hot Ones. Because Matt Damon like had it rough, man. He looked like me at the third hour of a D&D session. His shirt was like soaked through, the sweat just like running down his face, you know. There is a question in the chat from a first-time viewer here, Troy. First-time chatter, at least. Ashen TV wants to know how you feel about buffalo sauce. Probably fits that vinegar bill, huh?
Yeah. Well, first of all, welcome. Thank you for the chat. Delighted to have
you
you here. I hate to crush what I'm assuming are your dreams, but maybe it just means there's more for you. Yeah, I just searched what's in buffalo sauce, and the ingredients are hot sauce, which I know most of the time I'm not about that. Butter, which we love, don't get me wrong.
No,
but that cannot cover the third ingredient, which is vinegar.
My heart is breaking and shattering to 1,000 pieces. I totally get that there is a point.
Is this better or worse than when Jenny died?
Worse. I love hot sauce too much to.
Oh, I love hot sauce so much. But like the thing is, I totally get, and like there's definitely a point to be made for like smothering something in sauce when it isn't good to make it taste good. But there's also something to be said about.
Which, by the way, sorry to interrupt you, but like wings very much often fall into that bucket.
Yeah, generally, yes.
Yeah, but
you take a crappy wing and you put a sauce on it and you call it palatable.
Is a part of the wing.
You got.
Like,
it's two ends, yeah, right? Yeah, I'm with Taylor.
I'm not gonna win the wing battle. I'm not going to. So Taylor, please continue.
I think it's like there can be something with sauce to elevate it. Not that it isn't good by itself, but I think that sauces are and should be an elevation of a meal, not a like cover up. So I don't think that applies to everything. As a huge sauce person, everything has something on it. Usually,
officio saucinato. I don't know. It's a real saucier.
When the inevitable point comes, Troy, that we hang out and maybe make your way to the northern half of this country of ours, I will make for you some jerky that has no sauces, no vinegars, all dry rubs. I'll like smoke it myself. I get the applewood chips that I made last.
That's all great. That's all fine.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. Because I'm with you that like the good stuff should be able to stand on its own legs. I am a sauce junkie. I can't front. Like some sauces, right sauce, right time, I'm there for it. But I'll do my best to keep this in mind.
I have a big question that might cause problems, because this is going to be like close to the like is a taco a sandwich or whatever, but not quite. It is the where's the line, right? Of you don't like sauces. So in your opinion, is curry a sauce?
Oh my god.
Ooh.
I don't know that I am prepared to
offend my entire people
to deal with the wrath. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Butter chicken has been a savior for me in a lot of contexts. Yeah, boy. We're on the internet here. We're not going to get into all of the food idiosyncrasies. But let me just say one thing. Now that I have shared with you my disdain for vinegar-based sauces and most condiments, let me be very clear. There are people out there who hear things like that and are like, ooh, prank time.
No.
Very much no.
No.
Very much no.
No.
Like, we will never speak again.
Amidst my revisiting,
I'm talking not to you all. You all know this. You know we're good people. We're kind people. We don't pull unwitting pranks on people. But like you, the listener,
don't do this to your peers, internet
none of that
listeners. Amidst my review of the Hot Ones anthology, there was a great episode with Steve-O where he's like, "Yeah, man, these guys pulling the pranks on the internet now are jerks. Like the one thing about Jackass is we just tormented each other. Like you need to not just torment other people. Like you need people to be in on the torment. They need to tacitly condone at some point that you're going to torment them, and then you could get away with it. But don't be pranking unsuspectingly. No, especially not with food pranks. Like food pranks, dangerous pranks. Yeah, don't play that game with your friends.
Nope.
Isn't the Hot Ones episode with him too, where he has that quote that's like absolutely incredible, where he's just like, the greatest prank of the entire universe is that as humans, it is our natural instinct to survive, to do everything to keep ourselves alive. The greatest prank is that ultimately we can't. And it's just like, it's brutal, but it's so accurate.
The entire human species, it's a prank, right? It's like our most driving instinct. And yet the one common denominator that unifies us all is that we will all die. And inevitably, like each day we're watching it.
Second only to that is the prank that we somehow develop the ability to process cow lactase in our infancy. And like in adulthood, a significant percentage of the population does not and cannot do that, myself included. And yet things like ice cream exist in the world.
Troy's only here for 4
I just pound an entire hot fudge sundae in the 10 minutes before we turned on the camera? Yes, I did. Do I have like supplemental pills who will make this all acceptable? Yes, I do.
Better living through chemistry. Yeah.
I'm just telling you, why does society do that to us? Why do we suddenly evolve the ability to drink cow's milk, but only when we're babies, and then a lot of us lose that ability? Like that's some messed upness.
Yeah, that's the human experience, right? You got it right there.
We went places.
Speaking of morality.
Speaking of morality, how about this game, Dungeons and Dragons? There's a great 9-point axis, a scale of sorts. We could make charts and assign a bunch of fictional characters to it to better understand the actual individual monikers of what our morality means in this 9-point chart. Welcome back to D&D in Space. You guys all leveled up. We talked through the level ups last time. Naya has not been here since. Anything you want to note, Kevin, about your cool level up? Any like fun stuff we should be tracking? You got your hit points straightened out? Anything else?
No, nothing too big. I am a little excited. I will say I took a feat that ideally for someone who is constantly distracted and kind of frivolous, allows them to at least momentarily concentrate on things a little bit better.
Good. The concentration is real. Very, very cool. Any other like notes, any little things that we need to talk over? Ooh, request in the chat. Hey, Bugbear, thank you for the sub. Welcome back here for the pre-show. We're just rolling out of our great discussion of food. Many revelations were unearthed. It'll be in the VODs. It's going to be an excellent rewatch. David asking, Kevin, you are not obligated to reveal this. Do you want to tell us what the feed is, or shall we keep it a surprise?
I'll say, I mean, like, it doesn't come into play in a visually stunning way, but being a paladin, having a high charisma score, having my aura of protection, I believe it is, which allows a charisma score to be added to any saving throw I make and people around me within 10 feet. I added the resilient feat, which also lets me choose one of my abilities and become proficient in it. With the scores I have currently, essentially, it makes it impossible for me to fail concentration checks.
Well,
I said essentially.
Essentially.
We'll
In
test that theory.
We are going to test it.
Maybe not tonight, but I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
test that theory. Resilient all around. We have a very
Yeah.
resilient crew
Three.
on the Dragonfly at this point. It's very cool. Team resiliency.
I'm
Team
lactose
resilient.
resilient now. We're good.
Yes. Yes.
Love it.
I took
Yes.
the Brazilian feed. I made it in lactose.
Roll saving throws versus lactose. That would have been in second edition too.
Let me tell you,
Wow.
I've failed some of those throws, but we'll save that for another day.
Poison, wands, and lactose. Yeah. So, is there any like bookkeeping, housekeeping stuff we should go over? Any like notes we just want to like clarify before we get into recaps and discussions and actual playing of the game?
I would just say we definitely took a long rest, and we are different than where we started, and we'll cover that in the recap. But we've gone places.
And are
you're
going.
going places.
Or we're going places. We're going places.
Yeah. So I think that with that, to the matter at hand, the crew of the Dragonfly, having spent much of the last 10 days on the halfling homeworld of Lund, a small planet covered in rolling hillsides and winding rivers, you unearthed the number of secrets. You discovered the lore of this world, wherein an ancient copper dragon by the name of Velistrastrand, 4,000 years ago, raised up a great civilization, heralded and helmed by that of the gnomes. Incredible feats of construction were achieved. The capital city of the world, Copperport, raised up as the planet itself was mined like a winding series of worm tunnels to its very core, extracting near all of that precious metal from below its surface. Your time in Copperport was eventful. You purchased a statue that looked like an angel, that might be an angel that's turned into a statue. Questions are unsure. Your friend Ginny, the historian, a halfling woman whom you met in the countryside, whose life you saved, traveled with you back to the capital, only to part ways for a short time, seeking the lore of the great sage, the old sage as he is known, a sleeping dragon who lairs beneath the city's capital, but is aware of much of the ancient history of this place. It was in this time that the city, the world itself, was attacked. Portals tore open in the sky from the plane of shadows, the Shadowfell, as some might call it, wherein wyverns, embedded, enmeshed, kind of absorbed of this shadowy essence, poured forth. Terrible battles were fought. The copper dragons who call Lun home flew to its defense, as did the Dragonfly. That's you guys. As your ship took off sailing with the flights of dragons around the world, a number of you mounted the back of one of these great worms itself, flying on the back of the worm known as Brightwing, through one of these shadowy portals where you defeated the shadow dragon layering on the other side. You retrieved a series of ancient copper dragon eggs, which were being poisoned, corrupted, and manipulated by this ancient worm who had plots and machinations, yet undiscovered. It was as such that after defeating the worm, gathering much treasure, returning these eggs as you could, returning to the capital, you decided to make your way to the moon. Some of the information having been revealed that there was a station there that might give you answers to some of the questions you had. At this point, Ginny, reuniting with you, joined you on your ship. You flew to the moon of Lun, where you found a moon base and an auto-gnome named Gerby, once built by the aged and ancient gnomish inventor named Novik. It was here that Jenny revealed herself, not a gnome at all, nor a halfling girl as she seemed, but rather a green dragon who transformed and attacked in the hall of this moon base. You killed her, defeating her, concerned that this ally whom you had at your side over the course of weeks was a dragon the entire time. But last week, all was revealed. As it turns out, Ginny's corpse turned up back on the homeworld of Lund. In the tunnels beneath the capital, her murdered body was found. The poor halfling girl laid out to rest on a block of ice as you had requested, that she might be preserved until you can find your way back there. Seemingly, she was killed and replaced by this dragon in the interim when she sought the old sage. On the corpse of the dragon, when you attacked it, was a green emerald wreathed in copper, which acted as a kind of geolocator of the planet called Rune, a massive jungle world. Your time on the moon of Lund led to repairing this ancient moon base, which seemed capable of opening portals spanning millions of miles of distance within the wild space galaxy that you know as your home. As such, you recalibrated the machine, opening a portal to close the distance to this jungle planet of Rune. Doc, the greatest mechanic in all the galaxy, or so her best friend would tell you, built a communications apparatus in the deck of the Dragonfly, allowing you to communicate with Kirby and the moon base on Lune, casting ascending there once daily. The Professor Reginald Frybottom, having summoned and conjured methods of ash and smoke to retrieve the treasures from the lair of Raxus, has identified a number of magical items, has a good stash of jewels and coin taken from that dragon's lair. You said your partings to the small auto gnome on the moon base. You left him with the flump named and you re-entered the ship, lifting off of the moon as the dust kind of unfurls beneath the hovering, rapidly fluttering wings of your Spelljammer vessel. And I believe as the camera opens tonight on the void of stars, on the tiny, dusty gray moon of the halfling homeworld of Lund, we watch as the red and gold dragonfly rises like so much of a little insect, as does its namesake, lifting away from the moon base, raising towards the shimmering kind of bluish green portal in the spacey sky above the moon. With Lux in the Spelljammer helm, in the cockpit, your body connected magically and metaphysically with your very ship, you lead your companions as you feel this ripple wash over the entire construct of your ship, the metal vibrating for a moment, a strange kind of twinge of resistance as you pass almost what amounts to a viscous kind of invisible border breaking through the portal from the world distantly beyond you to the one which you seek. As you hurtle through this space, emerging on the other side, I think the camera from afar watches the portal pulse once, twice, 3 times, shrinking incrementally each time it does until it closes, vanishes silently behind the cascading insect-like ship. Around you, the void of space, the twinkling of a myriad of stars, so many colors like that of a rainbow, washing over the exterior of your vessel, reflecting off of the metal rivets and plates around. All of you are fully rested. Everybody is fully recovered. Reya has a bit of a bout of food poisoning, having eaten some old cheese that Kirby out of the moon base, and has asked for some privacy, locking herself away in one of the individual cabins. Jake, exhausted after a heavy cleaning session on the deck of the ship while you were at the moon, sleeps in the far distant recesses of the cargo bay in the back. Doc, having gone to rest with her mechanical dragon Waffle after a day of heavy work, both in the moon base and now on the ship. And so as the camera kind of zooms down towards the ship itself, pausing in front of one of the clear, crystalline portals, the portholes, I should say, allowing view from inside to out, it kind of slips into the ship amongst you. And what do we see? Where do we find the 3 resilient companions tonight?
I mean, is Lux still in the driver's seat as we're kind of like heading to this planet?
Yes, I think that Lux in the driver's seat, the familiar sensation as your senses are extended through that of the ship itself. The Spelljammer helms, of course, allowing a kind of melding of your mind to the mechanics of your vessel. You have this kind of extrasensory perception around you. You can almost feel the fluttering of the wings, the legs of your landing gear tucked up beneath you. And there is almost this overlaid vision as you look at the various kind of lights, panels, dials within the cockpit. And also you peer out of the great glass eyes that are the windshield of your ship at what amounts to the world of Rune, a jungle planet that's massive by your understanding. Still some 2 days travel from where you emerge, but far less than the 20 it might have taken you to fly here from one without the aid of a portal.
I think if we just arrived, we still got 2 days to get there.
Mhm.
I think if Lux is in the cockpit still, Naya is gonna walk in, cup of coffee in hand, giving a yawn. Oh, they're wearing a t-shirt and a pair of pajama pants with little dragons on them that they picked up while on break.
Mhm.
And just like, sorry about that. Got a bit of a headache. Had to take a bit of a nap. Ooh, jungle. Oh, that should be fun. What do you think is in there? Think we got anything crazy? Tigers, lions, bears? What lives in jungles? One?
What's a tiger? What's a lion? And what's a bear?
Well, there was these things called owl bears. Those were very fun. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, but where I used to come from, really, really fascinating creatures.
They're lions and tigers, bears, and owl bears.
Yeah, it's a hell of a place. Much more than that too.
Well,
Maybe we'll find some down there.
I'm sure there's some pretty crazy stuff in there. I don't know.
How does maps work out for you that I got off of not Ginny?
Really helpful. Yeah. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
the portal helps too. I haven't really poured over them as much. Ben has really been happy with them, I think.
Nonchalantly, or at least trying to sound nonchalantly. They're just like, oh, did you tell Reggie where you got those from by chance? Just wondering.
I did. Reggie knows.
Okay.
Where is Reggie?
Just wondering.
As Lux inquires, where is Reggie? The camera kind of fades to black, like reopening. Where is Reggie?
I think the Professor Reginald Frybottom is enjoying some downtime, which for him involves a stack of books, some of which he has read before many times, some of which he's only read once or twice, and a freshly brewed pot of tea. Some nice, comfortable, loose-fitting clothing, unlike the tight tweed jacket that you'll see him wear when adventuring off the ship. And I think today you'll see him pulling back out some adventure books that he brought with him. And I think, always one to pack heavily. Reginald is nothing without a few books. And I think he's reading back through some of the early books that were read to him and that he read as a child, including, I would think, some stories of Rune, one of the nearest planets to Cassandi, where he grew up.
Excellent. Dare I have you make a history check, Reginald? Let's. I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm. And I think what's interesting, in particular, is that I don't know that he's diving for research necessarily. I think he's revisiting a feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
19.
Oh, 19. Very interesting. Yeah, I think that the adventure books that you're reading about Rune recount that of an adventuring company that explored the jungle there. Much of Rune exists in the treetops. There are vast and towering trees amidst the jungle canopy that covers nearly the entirety of the planet. There is much written about the lizard folk and the tabaxi as the most kind of prominent peoples of that world. But I think that you were reading of the small adventuring company that traveled there in search of an ancient ruin, the exploits and adventures taken within. But yeah, I think that it's the story of the search for the temple of Halcyon and how it was never found. And the recounting of their adventure is kind of a series of misadventures of this group as they deal with the various denizens, none of which are ligers or Dians or mares, oh my, as they try to plunge further and further from the heights of the canopy to the surface floor of the world itself, encountering giants and displacer beasts and all manner of strange bat-like night-dwelling mammals, one after another, having never found their true destination, but discovering much on their way. It is a story of joy, of failure, of victories, but firstly, of friendship.
And this is the Temple of
Halcyon. I will spell it. Yeah.
I think Reg will continue to read this. And I think he'll maybe close the book, open up the door a little, listen in on the conversation that's occurring in the cockpit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the door opens in the back. I think that you all know Reginald in his much like less formal wear, a book tucked under his arm, right? As he pokes his head in, the pair of you chatting back and forth, steam rising up off the hot cup of black coffee that Naya holds in their pajamas.
Good evening.
Hey, Reggie. How's it going?
It's quite wonderful. It's very nice to have some time to reflect and not be amidst so much drama.
Yeah.
And you both, how are you?
Good. Yeah. Just driving. It's all good. I do think notably too, Lux today is in her probably normally just on the ship now. Once whenever they're off world, she just settles into her changeling kind of mode with her pretty really short white hair, kind of spiky, with her pale skin and her constellation tattoos. She has a white kind of lace top with this kind of sleeveless really worn leather, she wears it pretty much all the time, worn leather kind of a long duster type situation, very comfy clothes, but yeah.
I think at the question, Naya is just takes a sip of the coffee and is like, Reginald had some time to reflect, huh? Well, probably lots to reflect on. Choices, decisions.
Well, yes, we encountered quite a lot on Lun, and unfortunately it was both our finest moment and in ways not. We let down our companion Jenny, and for that I shall not feel good for quite some time.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. Takes a sip and mumbles into their cup and let down other people.
Well, we'll find out a way to save Jenny. There's got to be. Gosh.
To save Jenny?
Yeah.
What? She has perished. It is best to accept the grief that comes upon us now, rather than to wallow in despair in hopes of some sort of alternate future that does not exist.
Does not exist. Reggie, we live in a crazy universe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's possible. Gosh, we were like the dragons. There's, I don't know, maybe.
What, do you have some notion of resurrecting a person who has since passed?
I've seen it happen.
Know.
Pardon?
Really?
Yeah. Long time ago. Terrible event. Someone I knew died. Winter wolves froze them to death, but through a lot of effort. This person was brought back, but it involved a lot of people working together to do so. But I really believe that when things like this happen, it should be that person's choice whether they want to come back or not.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, you just said it, Reggie. I don't know. We let her down, and I feel like maybe we should have. I don't know. The more I think about it, maybe we should have tried to find her family or her friends, or I don't know, figured something out.
Yes, well, would and could and should all rhyme, but they are also filled with the pangs of regret which one cannot use to fuel a ship forward. At a certain level, one must instead find meaning and let that drive us forward. Also, I'm told.
I think you guys hear the sound of footsteps from behind Reginald in the hallway, right? And they like pause. The sound of old Ben approaching, rather distinct as his little toenails clack on the wooden floor of the deck. He is taken to not wearing his sandals inside. He too in his night gear. I think that he's probably wearing a little nightgown now that I'm imagining, since Jake went and smuggled pajamas in for all of you. And yeah, I think that he's like kind of paused back in the hallway and is like, I've seen a lot of strange things since I got together with you all, and it's made me reconsider what I thought was possible from before that. I imagine, well, I've heard stories before of people brought back afterwards, and I've seen it the wrong kind of way with the ghosts and whatnot, and that sort of a thing. You don't want that exactly, but I've been thinking a lot lately about whether or not you can bring somebody back if you don't have their person exactly, or their body, really. I mean, is that something that you can do, do you think?
I don't know. I've never seen anything or like it, so.
Huh.
Not that I'm saying I agree with Reginald over there, but there is levels of truth in having to
apologies, I can't quite hear you over there. You might want to speak up.
I think that moving on sometimes is the right course of action, and dwelling on the past can leave one stuck there. It's hard to grow and move on, especially, and I think Nizing looked pointedly at Ben, worrying about his line of reasoning, especially when it comes to loved ones, and especially if we don't know whether they would want that choice or not.
He nods. And he's like absently kind of like playing with this ring on his hand, like, there's truth to that. I'm certain of it. You're right. It's just, well, you can't help but think some people just don't get a fair shake, really.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you can't tell me that Ginny... I don't know. She had so much, like, that she wanted to do. And to discover, and...
Don't we all?
Well...
Yeah, that's certainly true.
I hope I do not sound callous in the way in which I am discussing these matters. It is just simply the nature of things that part of living involves passing, and part of passing involves the unfortunate reality that those who don't die are left to bear the greatest burden. So, I grew up in a family wherein we talked quite a bit about the perils and costs of war. And when I was a child, such tales were thrilling to me, including tales of adventure and great magicians and other practitioners of the art. But as I've grown older, it's become quite a bit more complicated, some might say.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ginny, I've been working through some of these documents. This is a really great find, Naya. She took very detailed notes, actually. A lot of excerpts from some readings, from what I can understand. Some maps. There's some interesting schematics in here that I really can't make heads or tails out of. I should probably give those to Doc. There's even a good deal of discussion about Tortles and religion. I'm sure Reya would want to have a look at those. But really, I've been trying to find things about Rune, because it seems that whoever went and killed her, well, they had that gem, and this is where they wanted to go, right? But we're not sure why?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm not sure either. I don't have that answer, but I do have at least some basic information. I mean, I've never actually left Cerulean before. I pretty much spent most of my life in Horoto, but I mean, did you know that Rune has 3 moons?
Whoa.
They're really big, too. They're apparently about as big as that whole planet one, I think. They're really giant things.
I apologize. Is this not common knowledge in the realm?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. We don't all read the books on a regular basis. Some of us do other things.
Well, no, I see. This is perhaps a bit of what is it they used to call it? Home court advantage. Rune is quite close to Kisandi, where I grew up, and so we occasionally had visitors who had braved the wilds and adventures, and among their tales was an emphasis on the 3 moons of Rune. In fact, I quite remember a sort of operetta that was created about the 3 moons of Rune. It was rather nice, though not to my exact taste. I'm sorry, what was I saying?
Seen an operetta. That's what they said that they did at that building where that auction was. I'd love to maybe see one of those.
Oh, yes, speaking of that, Ben, I've been meaning to ask you, and Naya, of course, whatever came of that purchase?
Oh, yeah, Jake's got it stashed up real good in the back. It's tied down, pretty sophisticated series of knots and stuff up against the wall. I mean, it's really big, but it's a really beautiful statue.
Yep. Statues seems to be the right word. Tried a couple things. None of it seems to work. Definitely still given that celestial
Did you try
presence.
to bed it like everything else?
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! No, I actually smiles at that. Well, maybe not everything all the time. Tastes can change, I suppose.
Gee, Reg, if we're so close to Cassandra, did you want to visit?
I was curious about that. I mean, maybe not right this second.
Yeah,
but
not right
after
this
we're
second,
done
but-
here, are we gonna maybe stop in and say hi to the family?
Yeah.
Well, I had not considered that. It was that was. I do not know that is exactly necessary, but if it were perhaps useful, I could see if arrangements could be made to.
Reggie.
We
It doesn't.
talk
Reg.
Hmm?
It doesn't need to be necessary. If you want to see your family, you've been gone for a long time. I think that's a perfectly reasonable request. We're right here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even actually need to be useful, to be honest with you. It's just could be a thing that you want to do because it makes you feel good.
Yep.
Oh. Yes, well, if we're simply determining a course of action based on what makes us feel good, well then.
Remember we were trying to talk about fun, Reggie. Like this is kind of like that a little bit.
Yes. Yes. Going to Kisanti. I guess seeing mother and father would be quite an experience. I should love to show the Alago band to you all and the central locations on. It is a very different world from most you have, or we have all been to. But perhaps let us get through room first and see what the future holds.
There is this as far as that statue there goes. I know they said it was made by a master artisan named Nimish Wayrocket. I mean, there's a little plaque down there at the bottom of it. Supposedly, this is the Solar. I think that's kind of like an entity from some kind of celestial plane that was summoned to defend the city against this thing called the Nightmare Tide. And anyway, I definitely found some excerpts here that poor dear departed Ginny was researching about the Nightmare Tide. They appeared to be a legion of shadow beings that stemmed out from a series of portals and tried to take over a number of planets at one point. And I think that they started right over in that kind of general area.
Oh.
That area? Points to
where we came from, back towards Lund. And I couldn't help but reflect on the shadowy dragon that you all killed, and I thought there might be some connective tissue.
Well, yeah, I mean, isn't that what happened? Like, a bunch of those shadowy dragons came out of shadow portals.
That's precisely the connection that I was talking about, Lux. You're really quite the...
The Nightmare Tide. What a name. Holy moly.
Was this great invasion, they said. The sun was blotted out for 8 days. Yeah. Not during the nights, because there is no sun at night. But for 8 full days, the sun was blotted out. And they said that...
Well, yeah.
Technically.
We will just...
Well, for those 8 days, there was apparently a never-ending sort of ebb and flow of assaults and attacks of shadowy creatures and demons and all manner of kind of cephalopod-like entities, but also they were led by an army of Shadow Kai. It appears here from what Ginny got in her little footnotes and stuff that these Shadow Kai were leading these lesser minions.
With deep apologies, Ben, I was temporarily musing upon the notion of fun. You said this place, it is behind us?
Yeah.
Good, then we shall continue forward.
Well, that's what we just dealt with, right? That was the whole thing.
Yes, I just wanted to reinforce that there is no need to go back to a place where shadow creatures from a shadow realm attack.
Reg, we killed a shadow dragon. I think that we're pretty up to the task. I'm just saying.
We didn't have any sun blotting out. I mean,
We did.
honestly, half of the things you said were really awesome as hell, and I would love to have witnessed that. The other half, on the other hand, not so much probably. Maybe
Well,
deal with it. That'd be fun. But
The sun was blotted out. That's what happened when we were on the back of
Corochan, but not
Thank
for
you.
8 whole days. I
No.
mean,
So I wonder if we maybe like helped stop it or slow it down or something.
that's what it seems like from here. I just thought maybe we should keep our mind on this name, this angel type entity or whatever. Mistral, maybe could ring them up with that new nifty thing that Doc built and be like, hey, maybe it could help again. I don't. It was just a thought.
Yeah. So it was. You said that it was like summoned to help. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, led the great
Yes.
defense. They said that it turned the tide.
and then
Wait.
it
Oh
turned to stone.
gosh.
Have we taken an object that was necessary for the defense of a planet from the planet?
I don't think so.
Well-
I think it was just kind of a memorabilia.
But it has to. You like the whole reason that we were interested in it is because Naya, you like sensed something like.
Oh yeah, something celestial is definitely in that statue.
Oh, I didn't realize that part.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't have all the working information.
You know,
There's a lot going on this ship.
Did we have Reya try to contact it the way that she does?
Oh no, I'm not sure about that. She can do some pretty nifty stuff too.
You should try that when she's feeling good.
After she's, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've tried. I tried to telepathically talk to it. That didn't work. I tried to cure it of disease or poison. That didn't work.
Has anyone attempted to speak through normal means?
Yeah, I think we should
Oh,
have
okay.
done
I
that.
just, you know, it never hurts to ask.
I did knock even on the side of it. I thought it might be a.
So, I did quickly. Mechanically, what have we done to it?
Lesser restoration, a couple of lay on hands attempts, telepathic reaching out. Yeah, those are the
Noted.
things that I have clocked.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No like full tilt restorations, that kind of stuff yet or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we don't know how Rune fits into all this. We have terrible
Yes.
sun-blotting shadow dragon attack from a long time ago that
Mm-hmm.
Statue Angel possibly helped stop. And now those shadow dragons are back, and we know that they wanted to do something on this planet.
That's what I'm tracking. Yeah, it sounded something like that glimmering cyanide had some kind of something here, maybe a location or something like that. Is that what we're here for?
Oh, interesting. I don't know.
I should mention very, very briefly one logistical detail about Rune that perhaps has not been mentioned yet, which is much of the civilization and livelihood is among the treetops.
Whoa.
Or so
Now
that is what the
sounds
books say.
Fun.
That sounds so cool.
Well, it certainly appears to be exciting for some of us.
A city
Not
in the
excited?
trees. I've seen a city inside of a tree. I don't think I've been to one on top of trees. This is amazing.
What?
Their capital is actually a pretty prominent spaceport. There's a good deal of trade coming in and out of there. They have an abundance of very valuable and important natural resources, by my understanding. So Sirion is the city of trees where the great ships are coming and going.
Lux.
Wonder if
here
I've
you go.
been
You
there,
hear
but
that? Can we put that in?
I got it.
Can we-
Got it. Yep. Sirion. Boom. I wonder if I've been there when I was little, maybe.
Oh, probably. Yeah, you grew up on those freighters and stuff. That's so
Ah.
weird. You just grew up in like a ship like this, huh?
Well, is it so weird?
It's
We all-
much
grew up upon large vessels hurtling through
In space.
Actually, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Some of us are just larger than others.
You're from a family of wanderers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, you could
my
say
people. My people were wanderers also. Sort of all roamed around. That was like our thing. That was how I ended up in the place that I originally came from. We're a traveling
really
type. We
cool.
love learning about new cultures, new places, new worlds. That's what's so exciting about being out here. That's what's so fun about space.
Yeah.
There's so many places and things to see.
I mean, my parents and I, like Doc's family, like they were mostly. I used to take Doc with us sometimes because I always wanted her to come with me. But yeah, my parents like did a bunch of trade and stuff, and they helped a lot of people. Because my people, there's just some places that don't really like us at all.
Well, those places
And-
sound terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my parents, did what they could to, help people and, make money and send, find people good places to be amidst their travels. But yeah, I grew up mostly on the ship.
Going around doing good, traveling from place to place. Oh man, that takes me back. That reminds me so much of good old days, I guess is one way to call them.
Yeah.
And
I-
you said
Reminds me of yesterday.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I knew
Precisely,
that.
Ben.
Yeah.
It is quite literally what we are doing here.
Yeah.
I mean, you all have to realize I spent the better part of 80-something years selling antiques to a bunch of angry fish people who had enslaved the entirety of my race. And this is a real
Yeah.
paradigm shift for an old fella.
Yeah.
oh, Ben, you're not that old.
Yeah. Yeah, we mostly like stayed with the half elves on Homeworld. Those kind of we like got in there. And I will say, if we ever meet my parents, you can never tell them I said this, okay? I think the Dragonfly is cooler than my parents' ship,
Oh my word.
but the ship's name is the Peregrine, which is like we have the Dragonfly, but I feel like we don't like. It's a good name, but it's just like what it is, So maybe.
Are you saying in space your ship can have any name you want?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Just from the
I'm
distance
gonna-
of like a locked bathroom, just like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll run across my parents someday. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be fun. Love to meet them. And
Oh,
Reginald's parents, absolutely gonna have to meet them. Many.
Oh, goodness.
I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun, Reggie.
I'm sorry. I
not
actually just
prepared.
came up here because Jake wanted me to ask if he's supposed to. I think that he got a safe in the back, and he wanted to know if we're supposed to lock up the pile of gems and stuff, or what do you want to do with those? We'll keep them here. Or...
Right? That sounds. I mean, Jake would know, I guess.
Oh, and also the ruby plant there really seemed to take pretty good to the dragon blood after we left the moon, and the buds are getting pretty big.
Wow, that's exciting. Oh, that reminds me. We need to keep an eye out for a planter because I need to plant this thing. And Lex hold up the seed.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
that's your-
the seed.
The
Thousand
most
gold
expensive
seed.
seed of Lund.
Hmm. Yeah, I really need to plant this because
Aren't is it
yeah.
from that planet that we're going to right now? I think Ben points out the window.
Wouldn't that be
Ooh.
something to arrive on the planet and see
that'd be perfect. So you
endless
can get some
supplies of
good
something
sweet.
you spent the remainder of our gold?
I
obtained?
didn't spend the remainder. It was not that expensive.
I think it's this
Come on,
dude.
Reginald. Sometimes we make decisions in the heat of the moment that maybe we later regret.
I think think as this debate is happening, is there more that you guys want to discuss here? I love listening to you two talk, but yeah.
We can continue on to the plan. What was it? Sinai? No, where are we going?
You're going to Rune.
No, the city in the treetop.
Sirion.
Syria.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Okay. So the hours pass as Lux leads you closer and closer. You think it's going to be about another 2 days. As you get closer and closer to Rune, you start to make out the first microscopic shapes of what are the 3 moons revolving around the planet. Ben has some documentation with a little bit of information if you guys want to dig around or learn anything more about it. You're all able to rest, read, relax. If there's any downtime activities that anybody wants to be pursuing, scribing spells, building anything like that, certainly hit me up. But otherwise, I think that as the 8-hour window passes, Doc probably would come to relieve you of your shift flying, noting to you, Lux, that she wants a little bit of practice at the helm. While flying is not her favorite, she enjoys it more after the upgrades that you've made to the ship in the past few months. And so you guys all are able to swap out. And I think that, can I have everybody just roll for me a perception check?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Give me just a second.
Of course.
Come on.
No, you left him on the moon.
Was waiting for. I do also, as we kind of get closer to the planet, Lux will go into her halfling form, which is pretty much the same without the tattoos, and just her short, spiky hair turns orange instead of white.
We need some art updates coming soon. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure, questions are great. Sometimes I know the answers.
For the Astromancy Archive.
Ooh, that's an item.
The brass disc with articulated concentric rings that unfolds into an armillary sphere. If that's even the word I'm saying correctly. I don't know.
I think it is, yeah.
The spells that are listed here are available if I have appropriate spell slots. Is that what I'm meant to believe?
Yeah, they are effectively available to you as spells in a spell book. As long as you can cast that level spell, you can cast a spell inside of it. You can memorize, choose it as one of your prepared spells for the day and burn slots to cast.
Okay. Great. Okay, just double checking a thing. Okay, you wanted a perception check.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. Just me creating problems.
No problems. So, Professor, after a long day of reading and scribing, going through notes, you sleep soundly. We should figure out one day who sleeps in what rooms in here. I like to imagine it's a bit of musical beds. It's kind of like, the private cabin's taken. And Lux, flying, exhilarating, tiring. You're a sleepy lady as you sleep soundly. But I think it's Naya, it's you. As you rest restlessly. It's been quite a while. You had taken quite a good nap before leaving.
I mean, listen, 2 days in just a ship with nothing to do, Naya's losing their goddamn minds.
So you notice as you are moving, right? The view out the window of the Dragonfly, always interesting. You're in deep space. There's the flickering of a myriad of stars pulsing in blues and pinks, greens and yellows, comets, asteroid, pieces of debris, distant worlds you can just make out from the right kind of angle, occasional creatures flying by. You've seen pods of the Kinduri space whales. You've seen the dragon horses outside of the city of Bridge. These massive just asteroids hurtling against the gravitational pull of planets, traveling at faster than the Dragonfly itself in their various directions. And so it is that as you kind of restlessly like moving through the ship, you know what looks like the flashing of lights out of one of the portholes on the side of the ship. And you see that like it's flashing in such a way that it gives you the impression of a lighthouse, of a signal fire, of intentionality. It does not have the random inconsistency of so many of the things that you have passed before. And I think that as you peer out of the porthole on the side of the ship, watching this distant flashing, you're realizing the color is changing. Red, yellow, blue, green, indigo, violet, this pulsing of like colors. And then you watch it go into sequence again, and it's the same colors. And each pulse uniform, each space between the pulse of light uniform as it's going. It is an incredible distance away. This is not like right out of the ship. You're seeing like this like dim flashing, right? That you can cover with like the tip of your finger. In that, like, it's not that far for your spaceship. You guys could certainly turn and like drive that way. It's closer to you than like the planet a day and a half away, but it's not like right outside of the ship is what I'm trying to articulate, if that makes sense.
Yep. So just to recap here, I'm like in the cockpit here. Where am I when this is happening?
Wherever, right? There's many kind of windows out of the sides of the ship, right? So you might just be like moving through, kind of going to like the common room, even like maybe you're sitting in the dining room or in the lounge area, and it's through like the window, right?
Okay, cool. So Naya sees this and it's just like, huh, that's weird. Ooh. Oh, those are a lot of colors. Oh, it's repeating. Blue, indigo, violet, green, red, too. Ooh. This seems... Ooh, I should tell someone probably. Maybe we can go that way. Should get Lux or... Nice campers towards the cockpit.
Sure, Naya, you make your way into the cockpit, and Doc is in there. I think as you come in, Waffle, like, kind of...
Oh.
Like,
oh. Okay, yeah.
Oh, are you here to relieve me? I'm really tired, I'll be honest.
Yep. Yeah, it's it's I figured I should give it a try. Continue on course.
No, you did a great job. I know Lux yelled at you a lot when you tried to land in that lake back there on Lund, but that's okay. Nothing's broken, and if you break it, I can probably fix it, but just don't land on anything too crazy.
Yeah, universe's greatest mechanic right here.
Right.
And Waffle.
Right. He like fires off his little blowtorch, thumbs up. I don't do good Waffle noises. And so, yeah, I think that with that, like, Doc's like, I'm gonna go I'll sleep in this front cabin, and like gets up, exiting the Spelljammer helm. The Spelljammer's helm itself is this big kind of gray, mostly stone throne that's got all these like etchings in it that have been filled with metal. It has these two almost like orbs at the end of like the armrests, like almost Flight of the Navigator style. But yeah, like Doc exits the cockpit, leaving you alone in there for a moment, Naya.
And then Naya's like, have a nice nap. And then door closes. Waits. Okay, she's probably asleep. And then she hops into the cockpit. And it's just like, all right, let's do this. And then tries to steer the ship immediately towards the blinking lights.
Excellent. I think that the camera like pulling out of like the window, the windshield, right, out of one of the big kind of bulbous insect eyes of the Dragonfly, pulling away from it as we see the red and gold ship kind of like pitch hard, like turning and then like overcompensating a little bit, like veering as it straightens out. On the floor in the deck of the cockpit, Naya, is this huge Mordekaiser compass taken from this giant battle deck that the crew found before they even met you and installed by Great Doc herself into the floor of this deck, and you're watching like the needles like recalibrate, pivoting as like you shift and move, lights like kind of flaring around the metal of the exterior, and here it is, you see it clearly in front of you, the lights like blinking and pulsing as your mind melds with that of the ship. The ship itself not having a mind as such, but extending your senses out around you. There's this sensation of like an extra set of limbs on your shoulders as the wings like hammer above you. You can feel almost an extra grouping of legs like tucked up against your chest, your mind like reaching out, this superimposed kind of vision of the cockpit overlaid by that of like the vastness of space itself around you, dominated by the flashing of this light in the distance. And so you drive, like surging the ship in that direction, increasing the speed as you are moving at Spelljammer speed, which according to the new books is somewhere roughly in the calibration of 100,000 miles per hour, just as like a rough sense of scale for you guys.
Wow.
Yeah, very space.
Yeah.
Can I,
Yeah.
at the risk
Mhm.
of
Dive
interrupting
in.
a fun time,
Mhm.
I think Reginald is going to enter the cockpit to interrupt a fun time.
Reg, like you wake up. Do you sleep in? Would you prefer one of the hammocks or one of the beds when given the option? Yeah, it's not even a question. You wake up out of the bed in the largest room, many of your books on the library shelves, a desk at your side as you're like, ooh, you feel like your Lux isn't driving. You know,
What has gotten into this ship?
Yeah.
as you make your way to the cockpit, entering, to which you see Naya like sitting in the Spelljammer helm, eyes in that like heavy lidded, half closed way, clearly synced in with that of the ship. And you note very clearly through the cockpit now, as it's right in front of the ship, still some distance away, right? The flashing of this light in sequence.
Naya, where are you taking us?
Well, I'm headed towards that thing over there. It's blinking lights. It's going in sequence. If you notice, the colors are going.
Yes.
But I'm also considering doing a barrel roll. I've been trying to work my way up to that one. I think I can pull it off.
It would be perhaps an additional compounding of choices that the results of which are still unknown. What is there? Have you discussed this course of action with anyone else?
Yep. Talked about it with Doc. And Doc let me take control of the ship, and we are headed that way now.
Well, you should have just led with that. I apologize for questioning your choices.
So you're saying my
Can I
choices
please
are great.
roll
Awesome.
an insight check as to whether I have actually caught on to that?
Sure, roll an insight check, and I think that you and I can roll a deception check. This is a contested check here.
Deception, not persuasion, by chance?
I think it's a deception. I think
Yeah, fair
I think you're bending the truth a little bit. I think there's a little white lie happening.
Would Lux be woken up by these swings in? Because I think that
Look
Lux
at that.
Whoa.
The 12 versus the 11. Lux, you sleep in the hammocks? You prefer the
So-
hammocks?
I think that Lux, like, I mean, I'm sure we'll like figure this out more, but like Doc, like the room with the two beds.
I was
think-
sure too, Taylor, but it's episode 15.
I know.
I
I think it's like Doc is in like this room with two beds. I imagine that maybe like Lux and Doc like share a
Share a
room
room.
sometimes. But I think that Lux, like, I think she actually like there is the space, but I think she enjoys the hammocks way more than the bed. I think she like is comforted by the like the rocking as like the flight is happening. But yeah, Yeah.
There's a series of plants growing in the hammock room that between you and Reya have been like fostering quite well. Brazzoli Chaos Brewer, I believe, gave you some seeds that he had used in his beehives. And so, yeah, you wake up to like the hammock, like rocking like a bit more dramatically than it might normally, right? You're just like, okay.
Yeah, I think she like gets up and runs to the cockpit.
What
go
is
charging.
going on in here?
We're headed towards these blinking lights that saw in the distance. Blinking in sequences seemed really interesting. Also, Reginald over here says that he supports the choices I make, and I was thinking about doing a barrel roll. So I feel like that is a vote of confidence on Reginald's part here. So
well, listen, no, Naya, the barrel roll is a very sophisticated flight maneuver. We can practice, and I can show you how to do it. But listen, gotta be real gentle, okay? And I don't know if in the middle of the night is the way to do it near a planet that we don't understand. And we're flying towards these really pretty blinking lights. What is going on?
Right?
How dare
Fascinating.
you?
Is that the ship? Does the ship talk? This is my first time really sinking in like this.
No, it's me. It is me, sword wielder. It is me. You are late. How dare you?
How dare I, the pilot of this ship?
I believe, pilot of the ship, that the Dragon Slayer is pilot now. And if they wish to barrel roll, how dare you?
Just because you're sitting in seat doesn't make you the pilot, sword.
I am no pilot. I am not sword either. I am Einreeve, Scale Piercer, and this is my wielder, legendary Dragon Slayer, whom is the pilot as they sit upon the seat.
I know Naya, and I'm Lux. And listen,
What is going on here?
Wait, have you not seen this sword talk?
You're really cool, but like, I am the pilot, and I know how to maneuver this thing, and I am exactly the person to make judgment calls on whether or not we should be doing barrel rolls in the middle of the night.
Well, I am a sword of ancient power and profound significance, whom has chosen this sword bearer as worthy to wield me after the slaying of the worms, which you assisted in, I do acknowledge, but nonetheless, it is incumbent upon me to come to their defense.
You don't need to be defensive. Listen, you're really cool. The whole sword-wielding dragon slaying thing, very cool. Has nothing to do with piloting the Dragonfly.
Lux, please, for one moment, please stop fighting with the sword.
Fine.
Yeah, Einreeve, be nice to Lux.
I'm sorry.
She's gonna let me do a barrel roll.
Yes!
No,
We're not doing barrel roll right now. We need to practice first.
Look, first of all, Naya, I don't care what Doc says, although don't tell her I said that. I do not think that we should propel the ship toward the first rock from which we hear the siren's call. We don't know whether it is safe or luring us into a trap.
It's pretty. Look at it.
Yeah, traps are gonna be fun. If it's a trap, we'll just, not spring it.
Well, listen, to be fair, as we're seeing, first of all, question. Would Lux recognize anything like this?
Lux, can you make an insight check? It's familiar to some things that you've seen before. I just want a little bit of a sense here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, can I just say, are we a few minutes out from getting there? A long ways out from getting there?
20 minutes. You're getting closer, right? I think in the midst of this, as Naya's like talking, the ship might be slowing down a little bit. Naya's like focused not entirely on like hammering there as quick as possible. So it's not like it's
Naya
right
having
on top
focus
of you.
problems.
Not anymore. My bad, team resilience. So it's not like right on top of you, right? And I think that as you're starting to close in, you're realizing there's a bit of a mass. It looks like what is an asteroid. It's like moving at a direction that's like kind of like almost the same as yours, a little bit like off pitch. And you guys are coming in from behind it at a faster rate than it's moving and like closing distance on it. So you've got 20 minutes before you're right up on top of it, but it's in front of you.
I'm going to do a thing after Lux does her thing.
Okay, Lux, as you were watching and you see the signal of like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, you're like, oh, this is totally like an SOS beacon. You've never like seen one like this with this kind of color before, in this particular kind of style, but the pulse rate is the same as that of a, like in a very similar fashion to like an SOS, right? A Mayday. This is like some kind of like distress beacon of light that is clearly like calling SOS help.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that Naya made a really good call here because that's 100% an SOS beacon. That's a distress call. Never seen it with pretty like lights and stuff, but like, yeah, that's definitely what that is.
Would
can you repeat that about making calls?
That was a great call, Naya. Yeah.
So barrel roll time.
No.
Just could you give me one moment, 1 minute, in fact? I would like to just ensure that we are doing the right thing.
1 minute.
And I think that Reginald will like pop open his astromancy archive, and it will then kind of create the sphere. And then he will begin kind of running his hands over it and rotating it faster. And I think the inside of it over time starts to glow like a very bright light that kind of quivers a little bit and then grows more and more from the center. And I think with that, his eyes start to glow almost kind of a silver color as he, for the first time, casts a spell directly inspired by the Astromancy Archive. And Dungeon Master, if you wouldn't mind, Reginald will now cast Augury.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. The good stuff.
And
Somewhere
he will
elephants knows his
beseech an omen from whatever otherworldly entity this archive might enable contact with, and ask about the course of action they are going to take, which is to grow closer to this pulsing object and attempt to render aid.
And so, yeah, I think as you're like holding the archive, the like individual spheres like rotating around, it begins to like move like slightly quicker and then slowing itself down. And the message that I think that you receive back is weal and woe, both good and bad results to present to this place.
Thank you.
That was wild to watch, Reggie. What was going on there?
I was cooking breakfast. No. I was consulting the deep and ancient arcane abilities built within the secrets of this armillary sphere in order to ascertain the relative merits and wisdom of continuing upon our course of action as determined by this here undertrained but deeply capable pilot.
So doing a barrel roll, you asked if it's a good idea.
Whatever, go ahead.
No, this.
That was just said, so it's about to.
Flat dex check. You get a dex check plus if you are proficient in Spelljammer vehicles, which I don't believe you are. I think only Lux and Jake were. So you're just making a flat dex check.
All right.
It requires spell casting capabilities to be able to pilot a Spelljammer ship from a Spelljammer helm, of which everyone on the crew fulfills. All of you have like magic in your own right. So yeah, go for it. Oh, I think that Naya, you like lean back into the chair and like twist, you're like shoving, you're like almost like pushing down on the orb on your right hand as you're like pulling back on the left. The ship itself begins to like list tilting, and I think that it pitches like a solid 90 degrees until like you're flying sideways, and it begins like chattering. I think we hear like boom, 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 and it's suddenly like, what's going on out there?
Naya, stay yourself right now!
All right.
No, all left. That's
like,
what we need.
wrench it back, like for a moment, the ship like pitching over, really like this dramatic, almost like near capsizing as you're pitching back onto your axis. And it's at this point that I think like Reya comes like shuffling in, like, oh no, what's going on? What are you doing?
I almost did a barrel roll, but not quite. Still very fun.
Professor Reginald Frybottom, if you ever give advice on how to fly this ship, I swear we do not do barrel rolls willy-nilly around here. This is the one thing that I will not allow on this ship, is to go crazy with barrel rolls.
I've seen you do a bunch of barrel rolls.
Because I
What did I do? I wasn't the
You gave
one.
Naya the go-ahead.
What are those lights? Oh, they're nice.
It's an SOS.
It is likely a trap and also an opportunity to render aid. It is unclear which is more relevant. But no, I am not to blame for this. I was not the one holding the controls or Quite frankly, I've never flown in this. I do not know how it operates, but
well, Jake is the best pilot. I mean, after you, yeah. No, I didn't. You're the best pilot.
No, for sure.
Then Jake.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, are we going there? I don't really feel that good.
We're going there. You
should
go
I?
back, Reya. Don't worry about it.
I'll get. I mean, but if we're going, I'm not. Do you want to put your armor on and somebody should fly, or?
Oh.
Oh, yes, apologies. My consulting of the greater beings did say that there was some risk of bad results, so we should come prepared as best we could.
That's a good idea.
And perhaps also consider not going, but I think at this point, the goose is cooked.
Okay. I think
it's a flying creature.
Reya like making her way back down the hallway. You hear her like meet with Jake in the hall. They talk for a minute as Jake's coming in like,
Sorry.
okay. I got it.
Thanks, Jake.
No.
Okay, cool. After I tried that barrel roll, I got a little bit bored with driving anyway, and then just pop out of the seat.
We'll practice. We'll practice, okay? Dude, you'll get better. We'll get there. Yeah, Lux goes back and just gets into her leather.
Okay.
It's time to get dressed.
5 minutes, 10 minutes. You guys are able to like get your armor on. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to do or say or anything. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, Naya definitely changes into armor.
Okay.
Leaves the door wide open though.
Yeah, got it. Great. Naya putting armor on, Lux putting armor on, the group of you like getting your equipment as Jake takes the helm, the ship kind of like slowing down, and over the period of these next kind of like 15 minutes, you close in on this asteroid from behind. You see that it's moving slowly in front of you, your ship slowing down with Jake at the helm. Where would you guys want to go, I guess is the question. Are you all like trying to look out through the cockpit? Do you want to go up onto the upper deck? Are you looking out the windows?
I think Lux going up.
Upper deck.
Yeah.
Okay. The three of you like making your way up onto the upper deck. The sight as you begin to close over the cockpit, over the asteroid rather, you're pulling in from behind it, the stars trailing past you on either side, the planet of Rune, this great green orb down beneath you, the three moons kind of in various states of orbit around it as you peer down in the distance, and in front of you this colored flashing like much brighter brighter now and more powerful. As you see it, almost the light is like refracting up from around the front of the asteroid, right? On like the nose of it. But the sight below, as the three of you take this in, is a startling one. Let me have all three of you make perception checks for a second to see what level of detail you're kind of like taking in from here, okay?
What are these rolls?
Perception checks all day, every day.
I know, they're the worst, I know.
I have such good perception.
Oh, Reginald.
Wow, the negative one gets
hilarious. I love it.
Fantastic.
This is the dice do what they want. It doesn't matter if you roll +7.
D&D.
Hilarious.
Lux, you see a field of shattered and destroyed ships. There are all manner of like kind of smaller cargo ships and smaller vessels. A lot of the giant freighters have like smaller kind of rowboat type ships, like kind of the rover did to make the runs to the planet so they don't have to kind of drop out of orbit, right? It can be a big pain in the ass to bring them down. What you're seeing are a whole series of shattered ships on the surface of this thing. Naya, you as well are like peering down. You see ships, you see battered, blasted pieces of ships. Clearly the light coming up from around the front. I think, Professor, as you're peering down, you're able to pull the name off a couple of them. You note the green fire, the window pane, the winding eel, like the names on the side of some of the shattered, blasted ships beneath you. Yeah. And then I think that what do you get, Pref? 17? Yeah, that's what you got.
Ooh.
What is this?
And I think as you guys press a little bit further over the asteroid, you see a ship that many of them appear to have dust and really be in like not a state of decay, but it's as though they have like more debris has fallen on top of them, right? They've kind of like sunk low into themselves. You could see like sagging on the timbers of the decks where they've clearly sat for a long time, and like the weight of themselves, the kind of motion through the air, like pushing against them. But there is in fact like one on the front that has like the metal still gleams. It doesn't kind of have the collection of like dust and debris over it that the others do. It appears to have been like a much more recent kind of crashing here, as it were. And the position that it has on the asteroid, it gives you a sense almost of like, did the asteroid crash into the ship? Like, is that what happened here? It's almost what it looks like this hurtling stone like crashed into the back of the ship and like, yep. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, get down there. See if there's anybody on that ship. Look at it. It's still shining.
Yes.
I don't know if we should land. I gotta say.
Ooh, why don't we get close enough and then jump?
Yeah. We got ropes. You can get down.
I can inform the other crew members to deploy ropes and request that we move into a holding pattern above the surface so you might evacuate.
Thanks.
Is that acceptable, user Lux?
Thanks. Ask. Yeah, that sounds good.
The purple orb like floating on the deck, having snuck up behind you, all of you guys, because it doesn't walk, it just levitates and makes it pleases.
That orb's name is Ask.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Accumulating Shadow Chronicle, so yeah, it's ASC. Despite your reluctance to incorporate my full capacity, I can still be of service.
Thanks. That's really appreciated.
About time. I think it's like levitating. It's like through the hatch of the deck, like. And with that, like the ship kind of lowering over the kind of surface as the group of you are like approaching here. You guys want to jump off the ship?
Yeah, I think by the way, Naya would have said after the orb went away, just turns to Reginald and
just
okay, but just hear me out. Serious question. Have you ever thought of saying yes and seeing what happens?
Yes.
Oh.
Could be interesting. Just
Gosh.
saying. Just saying.
Focus on this. Yep, let's
Right.
jump.
Right. This first. Jumping. Yeah.
Jumping.
What?
Just don't worry about it, Reg.
The ship like slowing down at the edge as like popping his head up out from the top on the upper deck. You see Ben like well, Jake's got the helm. I woke Doc up, Waffle, Doc, and Reya. They got a whole bunch of ropes attached down to the bottom hatch. They're trailing along like a little bit of a bug sweeper broom underneath us there, and we'll just circle. And all right,
Great.
have a good job.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah.
Can I go with you? Do you need some backup?
No. Stay here. We don't know if it's gonna be dangerous or not.
I'll man the ballista.
Perfect.
Jake told
Yes.
me at least there's one good shot in there, and then I'm pretty shit out of luck because I can't carry those bolts. They're gigantic.
Sometimes all you need is one good shot.
Yeah, stay safe. Don't like maybe just stay even a little bit up further. I'm a little bit concerned about this whole field of destroyed ships, to be perfectly honest.
And with that, the ship like slowing a bit as it like drops down in over the array of ruined ships beneath you. Here, let us go to a map. If we shall.
Ring of jumping.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, ring of jumping. That's right. We do have a couple of those.
We do.
Oh,
There's
look at the colors.
rings of jumping. And so with this pulsing, like shimmering of light kind of coming in front, the ruins of ships all around you. You guys all want to jump?
Yeah.
Yes.
How far down?
The ship is able to get like pretty low, but it's still going to be about like 30 some feet off the top because of like just the height of the ship itself. Despite the rules of gravity, which we only rarely talk about here, lest the stream go off the internet because we're discussing physics. You're in space. This is like very like, you know, like it's not full gravity. You could try to jump from here without expecting catastrophic injury.
Bounding. We're going to bound off of the ship.
Absolutely.
With that, each of you kind of like leaping down off the edge, jumping off the side of the ship, the wings like slow to a stop. So you're almost just like gliding, sailing for a minute. You're able to like jump down to one of the wings, like jumping to a lower section off as the ship itself then proceeds to just kind of like pull off, like vanishing away, not leaving Ben hanging in space, but rather like the three of you as you all land like onto the rock on the ground in front of you here. This pulsing light, this one massive kind of crash ship up in front of you. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, let's just.
So much more interesting up close.
Yeah, this is crazy. We should be careful. I'm really worried.
Yeah.
Damn rolls.
Or alternatively, we could go closer and touch it.
Oh no, yeah, we definitely need to get closer.
Yes. Well, hello.
Oh, we're going. Yeah. Hello. Is anybody there? You okay?
Are
See
you
your
blinking
light?
light? Are you sentient?
We see your light, your SOS. We're here to help.
As you call out, you hear a voice from up like towards the north, past this ruined ship, coming from way over here on the far side of like, hello.
Yeah, hi.
I think that you see a humanoid figure like step out onto the deck of the ship, like walking up almost onto the prow, and they have like a hand over their eyes. They're like peering out towards you. This humanoid standing there calling back like, the beacon! You came for the beacon!
Yeah. Well, it's like an SOS. Are you okay? What's going on?
Do you require assistance?
No! I am in desperate need. What's everybody's passive perception?
16.
Pass.
Pass. Don't mind me. What did I roll? I rolled a 12 plus 0. 16 Lux. What was yours, Naya?
14.
14. Both of you see, you actually, you see, like, movement inside the cavity of the ship that's, like, immediately in front of you. Something, like, low to the ground, like, kind of creeping behind a rock in front of you.
Hey, weird question over there. Is there anything else on this besides you?
Yes! It's a trap! I think that he yells. I have not laid this beacon for you. I am long since dead. And this is my tomb.
Well, that's not great.
We should go. Should we not go? We should go.
We should probably leave. Although,
do you need help?
Yes. I think at this point, like, rising up from behind you all, around like the edge of a smashed asteroid, you see a bulbous, meatball-shaped creature, tentacles squirming like so much cilia at the top of its head, opaque, milky eyeballs peering back at you. Now, I'll say to you, my friends, as it's 9:51 and we have a smaller crew tonight, we talked about a shorter evening. Do we go full drama and stop down here prior to the advancement of any further conflict, or shall we roll initiative?
Fight.
Yeah,
fight,
I'm here
fight,
for it.
fight.
But I'm like, whatever.
Let's go.
Let's roll initiative.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a short session, he says.
It will be a short session.
What is
Fighting
happening
monster,
right now?
no big deal.
And I think at this point, you hear the voice of the man on the ship just yell across the distance. That is Bralakai! I killed him long ago, but he has cursed me to this place. And him!
With sincere
Bralakai?
apologies to our fellow shipmates who are not here this week. Let's kill this thing.
Let's freaking go.
Very, very, very fair.
You said his name is Bralakai, just to check?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Bralakai.
Boy, can I just like pre-roll a nature or arcana check to see like what Reg's knowledge is here?
Absolutely.
Which one would you like, nature or arcana?
Either one, whichever one I think you prefer. Gosh, I forgot to clear the turn tracker from last time, so let me just delete a couple of people here because I got too many of y'all.
Hey, I'm catching up with my notes.
Oh my gosh. Not what I was expecting at all.
Love it.
Holy schmolies.
Who would? Yeah, how could you expect that?
Yeah.
14. I think that with a 14, you recognize a beholder, Professor. You've studied and trained for such things. You are aware that the central eye of a beholder, the most notorious of the eyes, casts a zone of anti-magic. Also, you are aware that doesn't seem to be happening to you as the central eye of this entity looks at you. Let me double down. Roll a nature check as well as you peer towards this thing from where you are. How far away are you? You're pretty far. You're a good 90 feet. Okay. Nature with a 13. You're like, it's hard to see in that distance. It's about 100 feet away from you. There's like space dust. You're moving forward, right? There's like this perpetual kind of thin layer of dust coming up off of the comet, like blasting away from it, the light flashing out of the corner of your eye. But there is something, its body is mostly brownish. The tentacles don't move with a particularly kinetic kind of animation. They're moving slowly, the eyes themselves opaque, and you see what look like almost all these little flaps, like peeling off, like ribbons almost, like layering off of this thing as it looks to you. You have a sense of its eye stalks. You know that they could do things like telekinesis, disintegration, petrification, all manner of stuff like that. Is that a reasonable assessment at a 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy moly.
With
you would
that,
definitely also recognize this is not a full-fledged, like, it's a different kind of creature.
it is the size that you have heard of from a beholder, but it's already not meeting all the characteristics that a beholder should, in that, like, you don't feel like you're washing anti-magic, right? You feel your equipment still working and all this kind of stuff. With that, Lux, you are up on 20.2. What would you like to do?
Wow. Okay.
You also had this sense of movement within the bowels of the ship here next to you. Don't forget, you and Naya both clocked that. What do you want to do?
I think that Lux is like trying to keep her eye on this movement, but she sees this beholder show up and hears what the ghost is saying and is gonna hunter's mark the beholder and fire at it. Is what's gonna happen.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. She pulls out her bow and fires. A 15.
The arrow coming loose from your bow, and you're like, there's an annoyance to you. Is like the anxiety of the shot. You realize you did not like aim as well as you could have, and yet it hits with the sickening wet thud, connecting. Go ahead and roll damage.
Great. Hunter's mark. 12 points of damage.
Got it.
Second shot.
Miss.
What are these rolls? My gosh. Okay.
The arrow going wide. It's like silently this like hulking eye creature moves towards you. That's your action. That's your bonus action. You have movement, Lux. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
I like your space colored roll 20 dice. Nice call. With that, Naya, you're up on 15. What would you like to do? You as well saw some kind of movement in the belly of the ship next to you.
Naya will move to this spot to give them, I guess, as much equidistant positioning, and standing in front of Lux to try and keep them blocked as well.
Okay.
And take out their sword and shield.
Okay.
And cast protection from evil and good, having fought one of a similar creature, but smaller, long ago. A little familiar with it.
Time ago, I can still remember when those tentacles made me fly. Go ahead. You cast protection from good and evil on yourself. The evil part being the more important. As you are warded against this entity, that's your action. Bonus action. Anything else?
No bonus action. I could run. All my spells are concentration, so I'm filling that spot right now.
Got it.
Yeah, and hang on, let me. Alright, that's not so bad. Oh, that's pretty far. Okay. Maybe I'll position myself. Yeah, screw it. Yeah, this is where I am. Continue.
Okay. Professor, as you are preparing for what you're gonna do, suddenly, from over your corner here,
suddenly I see.
What's your AC, Professor? This attacks with advantages. It's attacking from stealth. 18. Does that hit?
An 18. Let me just check some shenanigans.
Sure,
here.
you check some shenanigans. with your negligible passive perception, did not notice the shadowy movement inside the belly of the ship. Naya and Lux, your eyes are trained on the beholder entity rising up over the edge of the asteroid, moving towards you. And it's at that the camera pitches over our 3 lone combatants, the crew of the Dragonfly in the field, and we see a quadrupedal figure, its body almost covered in like these metal plates on its back, like some sickly kind of dog with an eyeless face that just ends in a blunt circular maw of teeth layered upon teeth layered upon teeth. It comes like bounding forward and leaps, claws digging into the wooden decking of the ship, the crashed ship here, as it pulls itself up on this perch above the professor.
Ugh.
And I think it sinks its teeth into him.
Its tongue lashes out like a 30-foot long, like barbed tentacle, hammering the professor from behind. Professor, you're going to take 19 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled and pulled. You feel the heels of your feet dragging before they are lifted up off the ground, and you find yourself, boom, dropped up here on the deck of the ship next to this gnarly looking quadrupedal demonic entity. You want to make a quick Arcana check to see if you recognize this thing in the instant as you turn around towards it?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
These attacks, now that it's got you here with the tongue, it tries to bite. This is a regular attack. 12 is going to be a miss.
Yes.
Jeez.
That'll be its turn.
Immediately, I think like you just like the two of you maybe hear Reginald and then see him be like, whoa! And then he like very quickly, not good. And bonus action Misty Step disappears.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So we'll do
boy.
that. And he will goodness. Where I think he's going to go. Goodness. What would he have done? He would go, yeah, that's where he'd go. I think he'd go like here. But like, you know, if that provides a little bit of cover from the ship here between that creature and Reg.
It totally does.
And then and I think he would just like look at the others real quick and be like, not good. And then because this is a DM Philly stream, I will cast another spell for my action.
I have no regard for the rules. I'm a madman, people. I'm
Thank
a
goodness.
popping off, casting more than one spell in a round. Cantrips or not.
Chaos. Complete chaos.
Amazing.
Chaos.
Yes. Well.
Professor, as you're choosing what you're going to do, I just want to note with your 21 Arcana roll, you immediately recognize it, a Canoloth. It's a type of Yugoloth, demonic, resistance, standard demon resistances, cold, fire, lightning, and weapon attacks from non-magical sources, as well as immune to poison.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
Often summoned as the defensive entities to protect important treasures.
Canoloth, is that what you said?
Yeah, Canoloth. It's a type of Yugoloth. It's one of like the lesser Yugoloths.
Love those loths.
Hello, Nate Crawler. We do Yugoloths.
What kind of damage did it appear to do to me?
It did piercing damage when it grabbed you with its horrible tongue, and then it did piercing damage when it didn't do piercing damage, but it has many teeth that looked like they would pierce you, and then it has claws.
The indecision of a wizard.
The Canoloth has large talons. Yeah.
Yeah. All Okay. What I thought I was going to do very much changed.
I know. Sorry to confuse you.
Welcome.
Wizard stuff, man.
Wizard stuff. You know what? Let's keep it simple. Let's go with a third level spell, which is going to be one of two, and I will make the decision now. I'll go ahead and do Melf's Minute Meteors, and I will. I've already used my bonus action. Crap, never mind. I'm gonna do Chromatic Orb at third level, and I'm gonna throw it at the Creepy Beholder.
At the Creepy Beholder, go for it. 27 is a hit.
27, higher level casting. This one's going to be, I don't think he knows any better, so he's going to go thunder damage, and that is 24 points of damage.
And we hear boom, boom, this peal of thunder in the void of space. Seemingly it should be muted, right? There's no sound in space, but as you drop down into this asteroid, it carries with it an air pocket like all objects in the Spelljammer sphere. Now that everybody has Spelljammer books, I feel like I should explain that I do in fact know this stuff. I read it all 2 years ago, but for the most part, we don't care that much about minutia, so we don't get hung up about it. But yeah, boom! As this thunder like explodes, the beholder like just like literally spins a little bit, like rotating as it slowly hovers towards you, refocusing. As it's closer now, you realize like its flesh is desiccated, almost peeling off around its body. You see parts of its jawbone here at the front of it, like
an undead beholder.
The central eye milky, wrinkled, almost like a raisin sinking into the head as its eye tentacles move towards you all slowly, and I will fire one beam at each of you. That was your turn, Reg, right?
Yep,
I took the damage.
I considered shuffling around, but I'm there.
Okay.
Here we go.
Beholder beams. First one for Naya is going to be 2. Naya, I need for you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh, dope. Question. Ooh, I guess. Okay. Depending on what you're trying to do, I have advantage.
It's a wisdom saving throw versus
I have
fear.
advantage. Sorry. Oh, okay. Well, then I don't think that matters to me. But I get advantage on all wisdom and charisma saving throws. My bad.
Oh, dope. Yeah. So you have advantage on this wisdom save.
Well.
Oh.
What about your paladin aura?
Oh, true.
That includes it.
It does include it. That means you fail, and you're afraid. You are frightened.
Hang on, I need to check.
Sure. Double check for me. The DC is higher than 14 or is higher than 11. You would be frightened.
Okay. Oh,
Lux and Reggie, I need both of you to make strength saves.
Oh.
Protection against protection from evil and good. The target cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed. F off, beholder.
I
think Naya would just shake their finger at him and be like,
You ignore the terrifying fear, having no concern for the undead beholder coming towards you as this beam hits you. Meanwhile, 20! Reginald, you feel there's a moment where like your arms are pulled in against your chest, some invisible force binding and trying to lift you up, and you're just like easily able to kind of like muscle yourself out of it. Lux, you are grabbed, you are held, you are caught by its telekinetic ray as it proceeds to lift you up, throwing you, hurtling you backward.
I don't like this.
Boom! Where you smash into the deck of the ship in front of the Arcanoloth. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And you're restrained by its grip until its next turn, or until it's incapacitated. Until the start of its next turn. Sorry, Lux. Lux, you're restrained.
So annoying.
This is ridiculous.
Naya, you are up on 15. You watch as Lux is like lifted off the air and thrown backwards, smashing into the like tilting deck of the ship that's up behind you. This hideous, like armored looking, demonic, faceless dog slathering in front of her. Beholder coming towards you. What would you like to do, Naya?
Naya will look at the beholder, and as tempting as that is, Naya will look back at the other creature and say, hey, back off. She needs to teach me how to do a barrel roll properly. Run up to it.
Okay.
I guess how far can I go? Here?
You could go 30 feet. Yeah, you can come charging right up. No, Lux is like tight, like smashed up against the deck side here as you come like racing up and like pitch around, standing on the broken edge, wood falling under your feet.
So I can't do anything when I'm restrained?
Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. Beholder.
I think I just like things are at disadvantage and like, right? I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to just blow past you.
You're good. I just wanted to double check.
I always like grappled, restrained. So while you are restrained, hang on a second. Conditions are opening. Here we go. Restrained. Your speed becomes 0. You can't benefit from any bonus against speed. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Your attack rolls have disadvantage, and you have disadvantage on all dexterity saving throws. So you could have tried to attack. Yeah. We'll double back after Naya goes here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I will attack, I guess.
Go for it.
All right. 14.
14's going to be a miss as you like cleave down at this thing. It's got this kind of metal plating on its back. It like moves just so to catch the sword. Second attack.
Second attack. Oof. These rolls not good.
With the dice. It like pulling itself down armadillo style. So like both sword blows deflect off the armor. Lux, while you're restrained, like trying to pull loose. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I think that she will drop her longbow on the deck, and she will pull out. She will activate her ghost gauntlet with her great axe and come down on this thing with the great axe from the ghost.
I think
gauntlet.
as you drop the bow, because the deck is pitched, it slides away from you. It does stop as it like tangles up like right here in this space, right? Where that little yellow line is. It like hits the remnants of this ballista over here and stops. The ghost gauntlet, ching, the like rings jangling, the chains jangling as the spectral axe appears. Go for it.
All right, and we will for her bonus action she'll planar warrior. See if we can get it hidden. Oh, ignore the
I'm so sorry for you because you're at disadvantage. A 13 is going to be a miss. No archery bonus on that. That's your first attack. Second attack, you're like managed to get the gauntlet out and like break one arm for you to swing. 14 also a miss. Gosh, so close. You guys can't break 14. You are like trying to swing, and like each time, like you feel yourself yanked back by the force of the telekinesis. You can't move. Naya, you moved. You used your action. You have a bonus action, Naya?
No, nothing I can do here.
Okay. Then it's going to attack here. Okay, it's going to proceed to try to bite Lux, who is grappled and it has advantage.
Hey, I said back off.
Wow. As it like lunges forward, I think you're able to like drive the sword down in between it, pushing it back. Naya, 10 is going to miss Lux. And then like furious, it like looks at you, launching out a claw for you, Naya. 11. Nobody can hit anybody up here. This like clattering stalemate of like, kang, your shield deflects its claws as it tries to like swipe your legs out from underneath you, Naya. Your shield, your sword, like driving at it, pushing it back away from Lux.
Insight. I would like to know one of its. 1 second.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah. Misses.
And Professor, you're going to be up next whenever you're ready.
I'll go one of its damage vulnerabilities.
Damage vulnerabilities. Your audio got a little bit weird right there. I don't know if that was just me. One of its damage vulnerabilities. Let me check here for you.
Yep.
It has no vulnerabilities, but I'll tell you all the same stuff that I told Troy, which is to say that it's a demon. It's pretty clear to you it's a demon. Cold, fire, lightning. It's going to have resistance. Poison. It's going to be fully immune.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Professor, you are up.
I just read a thing that I did not read before, so that
no
changes
problem.
some things.
I'm just refilling my water, but I am listening.
Goodness.
Yeah. I think I'm switching to real dice because Roll20 forgot that this is Lux, and Lux rolls well, so I don't know what's going on here. But
It got very hot today, and so I'm trying to stay hydrated for Dr. Alex if you're out there.
Very smart.
Gosh, there's so many options. Okay, hold on.
Between a dead beholder and a demo dog, there are lots of options. Yep.
Demo dog.
Would Reginald have reason to believe that this dog is not from this plane?
Yes, 1,000,000%. It is definitely not from this plane. He is certain.
Boom. He points at it. He casts banishment. Doesn't think twice.
Does it magic resistance? I got to roll with advantage. Charisma saving throw?
Yes.
Got it. 16.
And the swirl of the Astromancy Archive will reduce a d4.
Yes, you roll it. This is epic. 13.
Yes.
Amazing.
You guys hear a pop as the nightmarish dog that was on top of you vanishes. For the time being, at least. Professor, that was your action. You got movement and a bonus action.
Yes. I think he will look at the beholder creature and run. For the moment, back here under the ship.
Oh, wow. You duck in around the wall of like the wreckage. Your friend's standing on the smashed decking pitched up above you. That's your turn?
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Okay. The beholder shuffling a little bit more. I need concentration checks on your Hunter's Mark II, Lux. I totally forgot from before.
True.
It's only with 7 points of damage. DC is going to be 10. You didn't take it on.
Of course. Yeah. It's fine.
The beholder shifting a little bit as the professor vanishes. It's going to throw all 3 rays at you two. So here's a ray for Naya, a ray for Lux. So 3 and 4. Ooh, new rays. Okay. Naya, I need from you a Constitution save. Lux, I need from you a Dexterity save.
Okay.
And
hypothetically good at those.
Which one of you gets the other one? We're going to go odds are Naya, because Naya is a little odd. Okay, that's odd.
27.
15, 27. You both make your saving throws with that. So on that note, Naya, this black beam comes racing at you. You are tough as nails. And as the beam
I am now.
connects with you, you manage to like grit your teeth down. You suffer 14 points of necrotic damage. I don't know if you have any resistance to necrotic damage.
No.
Okay. Lux, you get tagged with this greenish beam that hits you, and you feel your muscles tightening. You're like released by the telekinesis. Your feet connecting with the deck start to slide a little bit as you catch yourself, and you're hit with this thing, and there's this moment you feel this like rigidity wash over your body that you easily kind of break it loose. The third beam also going to go for Naya. I'm going to roll to see what it is. It's going to be a 4 again. Brutal. Naya, I need a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity?
Yes.
Oh, barrel roll.
You like just roll out of the way as the beam comes like flying past you.
Jesus.
Does not hit. You can't barrel roll in a ship, but you can barrel roll in your body. Those were all misses. That's the beholder. Lux, you're up on 20.
Okay, Lux is the great axe disappears. She's gonna run over to her bow and pick it up again.
You just snap your hand closed, this axe of force conjured, vanishing as you lunge into the space in front of you, grabbing the bow.
Yep, and then firing away. With Planar Warrior bonus action. Yeah, okay, I'm done.
13 is going to be don't forget your archery is now removed, so that's technically a 15, right?
Yeah, true.
That hits.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Excellent.
For 16 points of force damage.
Got
Second
it.
attack. I'm done. I'm really done this time. I keep trusting it.
That is
Lux. You know what I'm going to say, though, right? You pull the bowstring back and crack, the bowstring breaks in your hand as you look down at the bow like, it's like frustration and anger. Thank God that the dragonfly doesn't break as much as his stupid bowstring. Why don't you have a magic bow? That's really unfortunate, Lux. That was your action. That was your bonus action. You have a little bit more movement if you want to reposition.
Gosh. I think she's gonna get up to the whatever railing is left and kind of post up there. Yeah.
Okay, with that, Naya, you're up on 15.
Naya will. What's 30 feet? 30 feet is over here. There?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You got a bunch of options. Yep.
All right, cool. Naya will move to 30 feet over here and try to get us attention, and then also run their hand across her blade, which lights up and crackles of blue energy. Blue lines are running through the sword as I channel divinity to Sacred Weapon.
Got it. Nice. So this is not even concentration. You're holding concentration on protection from evil. You channel divinity, this golden light glowing down the length of the blade. That was your movement. That was your action. No bonus action. That's your turn, right?
Yeah, I'll also say hey, asshole, come get some.
Yes. Troy, I don't get to make more saving throws for banishment, right? It's just banished.
Let's double check, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he's just banished. Yeah.
Yep. I just got to hold on to it, baby.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. He's just banished. Professor, you're up on 12.
Yeah, he's just banished. Okay, Professor's seeing shenanigans happen. I think he will run out here and he will pop off another chromatic orb, this time at 3rd level. And I think he will just say I would help, but I have my focus elsewhere. And I think he's going to go ahead and activate his Clockwork Amulet to guarantee a base 10 roll. And so I think that's almost certainly going to hit. So it'll be 18 to hit.
Yep.
A terrible, terrible damage roll.
Wow, these dice are out of control as you deal 11 points of damage with your upcast chromatic
3rd
orb.
level.
Oh, wow. Chromatic orb surging out. What kind of damage?
Thunder again.
Yeah. Boom. Okay.
And I think bonus action flaring my nostrils. And I think that's gonna be. Am I gonna move? How are Lux and Naya looking?
Good.
Fine.
Yep. Yeah.
I think he'll just drop the thunderous chromatic orb, and then just slowly walk back behind the wall. That's it.
And
that's
with that, it goes. Sweet Bralakai goes. It just levitating above the rock, kind of hovering a little bit more forward. It will come here. It can even go there, right? Yeah, that works. It like shuffles itself over to here, hovering, and it's gonna fire a beam. It can't get a great look at you. It's gonna fire beams at you guys. Okay, let's see what I got here. We'll start with Naya, then Lux.
Ooh.
Brutal 4 and 4. Let me have you guys. You guys. Each of you make a dexterity save.
Yeah.
Deception.
Again with the dexterity.
I am so done. Why do I keep rolling on a roll 20? I keep forgetting to roll.
Oh damn! You're more than 10 feet away.
Reaction. Astromancy Archive activates and creates a little arcane boost for Lux in order to aid her dexterity.
Oh.
Getting her up to 14.
The difficulty is 14.
Thank
Nice.
you, Reg.
I clinched.
This time it seems very angry, as like different tentacles. It doesn't seem angry. It's a dead thing. It's just like as like different eye tentacles like rise up over the other ones, and two green beams strike out for each of you. Each of you managing to succeed on your saving throws, pivoting away from them adequately. This might be legit. You each end up taking 20 points of force damage as you are blasted in a good portion of like your clothes, some not insignificant portion of like your skin and flesh is disintegrated, dust like kind of cascading up off of you as you're like, nah! It's like some Harry Potter teleportation splicing. Yeah, that was those two. Gosh, I don't think it can see the professor. Yes, Naya?
Damage. I took damage, so I have to concentration check.
You do. Concentration checks for both of you. The DC will be 10.
Yep.
Yeah, 25.
It cannot see you here at all. I can pretend that it can, but it just can't. Wow, Taylor. Wow.
This
Hunter's
isn't the right
mark
character
down.
roll 20. Why are you doing this to Lux?
Lux's odds, or Lux's evens, Naya's odds. Naya, again, one more for you. The last of its eye beams fires at you. Good God, with the force. Naya, let me have you make another dexterity saving throw.
Why are you doing dexterity?
I'm rolling randomly. It's brutal.
Oh
14. Luckily, it does not hit you with the second disintegration ray. It's trying to petrify you so we can put you in the back with that angel statue. You have succeeded. You are not turned to stone. That was its turn. Lux, you're up. You got problems, I know, but you are up.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I guess she's gonna yeah.
I'm sorry I
she's
broke
gonna-
your bow. You rolled 2 critical ones. I'm really sorry.
No, it's
but
fine. Yeah.
it's a cruel old second editionism that
No, it's
I really
fine.
just can't get off my back.
No, it's great. It's perfect. Yeah. Okay. What are we good? How far is it off the ground?
Just a few feet, like it's very reachable.
Okay, great. I love reachable. Lux is gonna yeet herself off the railing and then misty step to get within range of this thing.
Okay. As Lux eats
And
herself.
fucking pissed. Yeah, yeets herself is gonna throw herself over here, and lands on this piece of the asteroid and is going to, with the great axe, try and hit it with the great axe.
Go for it.
Got nothing. Just a great axe hit.
This spectral great axe
rolling
of
a roll
force.
20.
Wow.
Stop
that
it,
you have
stop it.
conjured in your hand as you like with this huge overhand chop. Oh, cool. You're going through the VODs, Ash. And Taylor does have a theme. Yeah. Lux is Taylor's good rolling character. Lux has a second attack.
I wish I rolled a 16 on my Vexalia dice. Thank you, Vexalia.
Oh my God.
So that's a dirty
roll.
20.
Those dice
I
are
know.
weighted.
Of course I didn't pick out a D12. So it's a D12. Boo. For 5 points of damage. Force damage. Notably, yes. But.
Got it. 5 points of force damage as the spectral axe cleaves into this thing from above. That's with Lux's movement action bonus action. Naya, you are up on 15.
Can this thing be flanked?
Yeah.
I'm
Faux show.
going to flank it.
You jump
Here?
this
Or can I...
gap, this kind of crevasse down into the ground, darting around to the other side.
Where do I need... Here?
Yep, that'll work.
Okay.
That'll work. Yeah, that's really
great. And then, great. Now that I've gotten to it, I'm gonna start swinging. All right, first swing. That's advantage 27.
Hits as you cleave down with one hand. Your dueling style, your slashing. What about your divine radiant thing? Your channel divinity too, right?
Well, the channel divinity is just a +4 to.
Oh,
it would have been a 31, but.
Got it. I always forget that part. So that's 15 points of damage on the first attack. Naya, second attack.
Not quite yet. As the sound of thunder erupts around everyone, and divine smite rolls out. And it's undead, isn't it?
Yeah, it's undead.
Yes, indeed. So that will be an additional 3d8, and since it's an extra level, actually, for a level 2, it's 4d8 extra, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, if you roll second level, it'll be 4d8 extra radiant damage.
Cool. All right. Wait, there it is. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so that's 22 plus 15 is 37 points of damage.
Naya, as your blade connects, Einreeve, the Dragon Slayer, your divinity channeled through the length of the blade, a focus of even further calling as you drive the strength of divine magic into this unholy abomination. It's just got this low, guttural kind of as you sever bone and rotting flesh, its body smashing into the asteroid at your feet with this kind of sickening thud.
Oh, wow.
Gross.
Ew. Well.
Oh God, wait. Do we talk for a minute and then?
There's still basically, you got 8 rounds of combat left until the creature is banished. Lux, as you're standing here and this thing's dead, let me just ask, is there anything you particularly, or Professor, you're actually up next. Is there anything you would want to do here, Professor?
I think the professor scans the rest of the underside of the ship here, just seeing through the cracks and everything.
Yep.
To make sure there's not another creep ass dog up in here.
Let me have you make an investigation check.
Oh, benevolent DM to the int caster investigation. Here we go. +8, baby.
You're actively looking. Yeah, 15. As you look from where you are standing into the nose of this wrecked ship that is here, you know very clearly in the back, cargo, chests smashed, barrels tilted over, coins spilled out across the floor in a small cascade amidst the rubble and the dust. You see nothing moving except as you are looking, you note the figure of this man coming towards you who stops on this raised kind of cliff peering down above. He pauses standing. In one hand, he holds a bow made of black wood, bone, stone, hard to say. He has no arrows nor quiver. There's a quiver empty on his back, and you see around his throat, noose hangs cinched tight against it, cut off loose and flapping against a rotting red velvet shirt. His flesh gray, rotting itself. Some exposure of bone along the side of his scalp as he peers down towards you and is just
Long have I been trapped here with that fiend. It was he who crashed my ship. I owe you great gratitude for this.
And I think Reginald immediately reaches out to like a giant piece of shrapnel off of the ship, like a long splintered piece, and cracks it off and holds it in his hand, and it like begins to start to glow. And he just like shouts back at that figure, "Come no closer! Now is not the time to mess with us."
Fear not, brave magi. I have no taste for living flesh. I am but a doomed, cursed man.
When you say curse, what exactly do you mean by that?
You guys can move your tokens as you see fit at this point. The Beholder's dead. Professor's holding concentration on the Caneloth.
Yeah, Lux will come up to Reggie, kind of like having banished or not been, just having gotten rid of the Forest Great Axe and like kind of holding her bow, like just kind of, at her side as there's no string.
In the sky above, the Dragonfly circles by, ropes trailing out of a hatch underneath. I think there's a moment where, like, looking up, you see the faces of your companions. Doc, like, peering out, the goggles up against her eyes, against the dust as she's, like, looking down towards the lot of you. And he just, like, looks up, and you could see this wound on his throat of a hanging where it is, like, torn through, a lot of, like, the flesh, really, the flesh gray and rotten. And he just looks back down to you like,
fear not. I have no cause for violence against you.
And looking to you like,
yes, sword wielder. I am a cursed creature, bound to this rock for as long as it hurtles through the void of space. For my failure.
What happened to you?
I was captain once of this ship. Stargleam, it was called. We were to transport a dangerous bit of cargo, Bralakai, to be sold in service to Neogi slavers. My crew hung me, a mutiny. They released it. I suspect it bent the minds of one or another. But it matters not. I am damned for dealing in slaves, for endangering my crew, for failing all in the end.
Jeez.
Well, dealing in slaves is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I've learned in my death to look backwards at my choices and can see I chose poorly.
How long have you been here?
47 years.
Well,
Death in 47 years is a decent enough sentence. Well, I guess that's debatable, but even still.
You have removed a great burden from my shoulders. It enacted the magic.
as I think that you could see the light from the edge is like still happening, but it's slowing and it's dimming.
Its animation was hard for me to understand, I thought we were forever doomed to torment each other here. I have tried to kill him countless times, and he me. Perhaps we have. It is hard to say what entirely I remember. What I imagine. But I am grateful.
So if this thing's dead, Curse is gone?
I think he looks down to his hands
Perhaps, sword wielder. Perhaps. If you strike me down this time, perhaps I will remain gone.
If that is your choice, by all means, I'm willing to oblige.
Your bow seems in need of stringing, Archer.
Yeah, I got more string back on the ship. It's happened more recently, but my string always just be pretty strong. But I should start carrying more with me.
I think he turns, looking to you, Professor.
Do I have your leave to approach, Magi?
Yes.
I think he jumps down from this cliff, landing hard and pulling himself up as he just comes walking right up to the three of you. And I think he turns
Take what spoils you might. A ship such as that must cost some bit to keep provisioned.
Yeah.
You're wise to not land here.
And I think that he offers the bow up to you, Lux. He extends it out.
I've had no arrows to fire. For a child's life, at least. This was given to me.
Yeah, I think she slowly takes it. What's your name?
My name should be forgotten with my death, but I was once called Mardus. Mardus Krell. It is a name of dishonor now. Name that should be forgotten.
Well, it won't be if she looks at the bow won't be. But thank you.
Its string will never break you.
I think he turns, looking at you
It is a fine blade. If you would end this for me, I would see it so. I could not imagine a sword much finer to take my head from my rotting corpse.
Well, he'd certainly find himself very fine to do it.
Would be better if you were a dragon, but so be it.
Take what you can get. As Naya will nod at him and then look to Lux and Reggie and be like, search the ship. You don't have to watch.
I think Lux stands there.
Since this beast found the way to light its beacon, many have perished here. For that, I have more yet to atone for. But if you can end my days of solitude and regret, I will see what that atonement might be on the other side.
And I think he like falls to a knee. Like,
I thank you for this deed, wanderers. Many would have turned back.
Pretty blinking, colorful lights. Can't resist that. Now we'll grow serious for a moment and say, whatever comes next, remember the lessons you've learned in this life. Carry them to wherever and whatever happens after. And remember, death is but another adventure. And we'll swing the sword.
And I think that, yep. Go for it, Reg.
I assumed Reggie left. I told Reggie to go look search some shit on his end watch.
As Reggie walks away.
We see like Reggie's back turning as he moves perhaps towards the belly of the ship to assess what might be retrieved as this undead man falls to his knee. The last act of Madras Krell, the sword falling. And I think that the glint of the sword in the starlight is the last that we see as the scene perhaps fades to black. And that's where we will leave our adventurers tonight.
Love it.
Wow.
Cool. See, I knew it wasn't going to be that much longer, but also it is 10:45. I'm sorry, this is a full night. I'm not that sorry. It was very fun, D&D. Thank you all for joining me. Delightful half squad.
Wait, what treasure did we get? I feel like that's important.
Okay, yeah. It's very cruel of me to be like, treasure next time. Give me just
and
one
Lux
moment.
has an unbreakable bow.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, not gonna lie.
Good. Give me 1 second.
While the dungeon master does that, I'll just say, like, there's sometimes those experiences in D&D where, like, you are, like, laughing and rolling over. There are times where you're, like, screaming and thrilled and, like, all that. There are times that you're just, like, gut punched, like, just deeply, like, you know, ripped out. And then there are times like this where it just, like, it feels like a really good meal. It just feels like you ate, like, the perfect amount. It tasted good the whole way through. It's just, like, perfectly satiated. So thank you, Rich, and everyone else for that. And, like, check the box.
I got all the things that I said, right? We got some great socialization. We got some great shenanigans. A monster to kill. You didn't let nothing to seduce this time, but still.
I mean, didn't really try.
I guess that's true. Not really.
I'm just
really
waiting for the time that Naya tries to go seduce someone, and Red just like, boop, like, nope, take him off the
planet. Also, I mean, we did get a little bit of, like, a little Reggie and Naya, which was interesting.
Okay, here I go.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the others hearing about our adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not what I was expecting to find.
The next session opens with learning how to do a barrel roll.
Yeah.
Everyone else is confused.
Yeah, the postscript is like, you know, the end credit scene while we go over it is you guys kind of like rooting around through the ruins in the belly of this crashed ship. Well, you find you 700 copper pieces, 9,000 silver pieces, 1,700 gold, 160 platinum, and amidst them, like tucked amidst them, actually, you might find them on his corpse, probably. 3 diamonds, 2 bloodstones. Some notable gems. The bow that he has given you, Lux, you note as like you like turn it over in your hand, etched just below the kind of like hand grip on it is the word Kadras.
She was the protagonist in the Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, Cadras Meberbean, right?
That's the unlicensed version that was sold in Chinatown.
I am Cadras Meberbean.
Clutching Fjord.
Very
Is that
cool.
language familiar at all?
The language, it's written even in the common script. How about that? Like, it's written in common. It uses the common alphabet. All of you can read it, and it gives you the notion that it's a proper name.
Cool.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Is there anything else about this bow that Lux could figure out, or maybe even Reggie? Question mark.
As your hands are on it, you are very clear it is in fact wood. It's a type of wood you've never seen before. And a cursory detect magic would reveal it is in fact enchanted, but we'll talk about that at another time. That feels like a real juicy part of another meal, perhaps an appetizer to a delightful dinner yet to come. What do we say to that?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Ashen TV, thanks for stopping in. I love to see new folks popping in here and making themselves known in the chat. There's often people hanging out in the background, and I never want to blow anybody up, but we're lovely to hear from you tonight. I love to hear you going back through the threads in the pattern. We were supposed to have another episode of Threads in the Pattern tomorrow night. We had to make a last minute pivot for some scheduling. We will be back a week from Tuesday, the 6th of September. Next episode, Threads in the Pattern. We will be back next Monday with some Dragonfly, probably. We'll talk. We'll see what's going on there. But yeah, in the interim, you folks are busy-ish, folks. What are you doing, Kevin? What do you got going on in the world? Anything you want to hype up?
Oh, you said folks. Definitely not what I heard.
Oh, boy. The folks? The folks?
You folks.
You folks.
You folks.
Like,
What are you doing? What are you happening?
Dwarves. That was Kevin's sword. That's my bad. I didn't say that.
The usual happening. Lots of PSR stuff going on. The main one that I would call out is that I'm just gonna say long anticipated, whether it's true or not, return of the YA podcast as it transforms into Who A is finally happening. You guys should be getting the first episode of that coming very soon, as we're going to be kicking off our Doctor Who coverage. That's going to be me, Melissa, and Adam, known here as Pia in the chat, covering Doctor Who, starting with the 2005 version of Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor. So check out that first episode coming to your PSR patron feed. Very short, like very soon, I would say, like next week. And we'll be doing some episode coverages. If you've never dived into Doctor Who, this will be a great time to do it. We're doing curated episodes, so you know it's not everything. We're picking the ones that we think are the good ones, and we'll do recap quickly of the ones that we skipped. But I think it's going to be a good time. You should definitely give it a listen. And then, as usual, everything is super and all the other stuff happening. But PSR as a whole, check it out. Got some great coverage by people here, even who do things.
Yeah, it's a great little corner of the internet. How about you, Troy? You've been wrapping up some coverage over there, doing some stuff.
What? A corner of the internet where many of us do things? What a notion! Yeah. I don't know what character that was. It's not quite Reggie. Maybe it's Reggie's uncle. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll meet him
Frybottom.
Oh, I'm so excited to go to
Dick Wigglebottom. Okay.
Is that me and Josh's like kid or something? I don't know.
So let's see here. If you have been watching Only Murders in the Building, you can come listen to our podcast coverage of that. We just covered the season finale of season 2. I think they stuck the landing. I'm not going to say anything else, but it's definitely worth watching and then listening to us. We have our own feed in the podcast feed of choice of yours, or come find us in the post-show recaps Discord. Also in the post-show recaps Discord and patron feed, you can listen to me and Grace Leader, Reya, on our ship here, count down the top 10 90s space and or ish sci-fi movies, and it's now live, and it's pretty great, as voted on by the patrons of post show recaps. There were some surprises, There were some disappointments, and there were even some accusations of who might be aliens.
I am very excited to go listen to this podcast. I know that there were a couple of films you were really hoping made the list, and I hope that they did as well. I'm curious to see about that. I know there were a couple of films that got thrown out in the conversation that I was like, what? How is that even on there? And I heard that you derailed it for shenanigans halfway through, and you told me that, so I'm really excited.
Any good podcast gets derailed about halfway through.
Very.
Yeah, I like to imagine podcasts are to trains like, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is to trains. It's just, it's an idea of a train, but it's really for the ride.
Very fair. Taylor, how about you? Anything you want to be hyping up or talking about or anything like that?
I'm just kind of chilling, and this is where I hang out. So
you can catch a lot of Taylor here on the internet playing awesome characters. A week from tomorrow, she will be back in her giant ogier skin, where she is Renora, daughter of. I should know it by now.
I don't even know it. It's fine. I
want to say Irulan, and I'm like, that's not true. I'm reading way too much Lord of the Rings. Irelin? Okay,
it was very close.
Damn close.
Very
cool.
Cinderella.
Well, I am Rich Filiberto. I'm DM Philly out here on the internet. I am a mercenary dungeon master. I am up for hire if you want me to run for your friends or your family or your kids or just you, I guess. Then you can get in touch with me. You can hit me up. My DMs are open on Twitter. You can contact me here through the DMs. You can hit me on Discord, all kinds of stuff, whatever works. I'm podcasting a bunch over at post-show recaps. I just recorded House of the Dragon is back. We're back in Westeros, baby. House of the Dragon, very fun. Obviously, it's had huge viewership numbers the last couple of weeks. I'm doing the book club over there with Josh and Taryn, which is great. I am very excited as a counterpoint to that, a direct counterpoint, a way to be talking about the Rings of Power this Thursday. The first 2 episodes drop at 9 p.m. Me and Mike Bloom will be right there after they are out, taking it apart, talking about it. What do we love? What do we hate? What are we freaking out about? Hopes and dreams and wishes. Oh my. And the great Grace Leader herself and I are still wrapping up our coverage of The Sandman, which has still not been renewed for a season 2 like House of the Dragon. So I beg you, friends, Netflix really cares how many times these things get watched in the first 28 days after release. If there's any part of you at all interested in watching The Sandman and you're like, I'm going to get to it, just hit play. Like, hit play, shut your TV off, and then go to bed. Just like keep the DVR running or whatever. Push through those episodes. Send Netflix their stupid metrics. I need a season 2. Don't do this.
So do I. Agreed.
So good. Yeah.
Legit,
100%.
like, not to be too hyperbolic, but it's been a great adaptation if you know the source material. And if you don't, it's just a good TV show, right? Yeah. Episode 6, my favorite episode of TV this year, full stop. Great stuff.
Yeah.
There he is.
Right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a person who doesn't know the source material, I mean, I binged it in like 2 days and was just delighted. It was amazing.
Are you sure you didn't Bing it? Like, you sure you didn't just you Binged it? You searched it on Bing?
That's the bad engine. That's the bad engine.
People do that by accident only.
Sometimes people say they binged it. I was wrong.
Well, this was an awesome night. You guys, you killed a beholder zombie, you banished a Canoloth, and you freed a dead man from a terrible curse, unleashing this asteroid from having this magnetic kind of beacon that made many ships crash here. We missed our friends. We'll see them next time. But for now, I think that this is where we say, bye, Internet. Bye. Let's get on.